Hey everybody, we're live. How's everybody doing tonight in the chat? Let's see who we got. Well, obviously on the panel we got me, 101, and Virginia as usual. How's everybody doing? Who we got? Debbie Sims, welcome. Caribbean House, hello. Hoot Owl. Klingon, what's going on, Klingon Princess? Yeah, so if there's anybody in the chat that's canning along with us, we got plenty of room up here on the panel. Just let us know, and I'll drop the link and bring you on up here. If not, we'll just chat for a little bit and wait for the room to populate, and then we'll get started. Hey, there's Susanna.
Hi.
Susanna! Yay! I'm so excited to see you.
Hi.
Hi.
Yep. See, that is me.
Yes.
How is everybody today?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
I was happy to make it.
Oh, I'm glad you did.
Yes.
I've been having problems with my emails. It's like I've been emailing people and they've not been getting it. It's like who was it? Oh crap, Jess. I've been emailing Jess the link. She said she's not been getting it. I don't know. Weird, because I mean, even when I start the email with StreamYard, it drops down and it gives me like everybody that I've ever emailed to come to a live. It asks me if I want to. It pulls them all up, and I just got to click on their names and it drops them in automatically. Apparently, It's not dropping hers in.
I don't know. I've been getting them all. I
may have to just individually send Jess one individual by herself and just her, and let it maybe reload into the system or something. I don't know. I was thinking maybe it had something to do with that week that she ran the stream, but I wouldn't think it would. I mean, it was on her account, not on mine. So I don't know. Weird.
Yeah.
Patriot Girl Prepper. Aussie Mom Homestead, what's going on?
Yes, hey, Prepper 101. Sorry. Right. I'm just excited.
I'm excited you're here. Yeah.
Hello, everybody in chat.
Yes, this week I've just been dealing with the rabbits. Elizabeth Jefferson, hello. Yeah, the man and rabbits are getting big. They'll be 3 weeks old Monday, and they've been jumping up out of the nest box for the last 3 or 4 days, eating mama's food. They're eating pellets. They're eating the lettuce. I mean, they're drinking the water. They're like insane, especially the black ones. The black ones, those three jumped out of the nest box like a full day before the rest of them.
Oh yeah, I've been watching. I've been looking at them. They've been getting so big so fast.
They're great. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yes, I'm probably, I don't know if I'm even going to process any from this litter, simply because Za did such a great job as a mom. I mean, come on, she had 9 babies. Her very first time having babies, she had 9. She had them in the middle of the heat wave in July when you're not supposed to be breeding, and all of them are big, all of them are fat and happy. I didn't lose any. Thank God for that cooling tower. I think that really helped a lot. But what I really think happened is she went the full 31 days. She didn't have them at like day 27 or 28. So they got like a whole lot more time in the belly, to mature. I think that's one why they came out so healthy. So I'm going to keep probably every single doe from this litter, well, at least 3 or 4, and at least 1, maybe 2 bucks, just because the color variation, and they're obviously they got good genes the way she had her first litter. I mean, she'll be having another litter here in 3 weeks. I rebred her last Monday I think I rebred her Tuesday. So I'm going to wean these guys here in the next 2.5 weeks to give her a week by herself and go from there. I don't know if y'all heard or not, but Native had we had a bad storm here like 3 days ago, and I had Za gave her rabbits to Native. And we had a bad storm come through. I spent about an hour outside soaking wet with an umbrella, keeping the rabbits covered up and so they didn't get wet. But I think he had a tree or something. Something happened with the wind or a tree. And anyway, he lost his buck that he got from me.
Oh, wow.
So it died. Yeah, so all he got is a doe. Yeah. So all he got is a doe. So I told him to bring his female here the 1st of September, the first week of September, because that's when she'll be old enough to breed, and I'll breed her to tribe, which will give him some good color, and then I'll let him have Za's brother, the all-white New Zealand California cross, the mature one. I'll let him have her brother, and I'm probably going to give him 1 or 2 out of this litter from ZA because they got like some really good color and some really good genes to kind of get him started again. Yeah, that sucked, but yes, I'm probably going to hang on to as many of these as I can just because they're obviously good breeders. But I'll know for sure when she has her next litter. So we'll see. Ginger Ninja.
So what you're really telling us is you messed around and you started naming them.
No, yeah, no, they're not named. I've been calling them Rabbit McNuggets all week. But,
I was thinking he must have fallen in love with them.
Nah, I mean, I play with ZA. I even play with the babies, but food's food. Kim's Farm Life, hello. Tamara Reynolds, hello. But nah, because it's hard to find. I've been doing a lot of research, and I mean, it's hard to find people, number one, that are willing to breed in the summertime. And when they do, they're always horror stories. They have like 2 babies, they don't make it, or they have a big litter and they don't make it, or the mom doesn't make it. And she popped these 9 out like it was nobody's business, and just like she's like, all right, what's up? It was like no big deal. And they were massive, and they're all healthy. So
yeah, but you also watched them really good, and you made the little cool pads for them, and so that probably helped.
Towers really, really helped. I'm building some real nice ones for the next cages, but I would be stupid if I have room to keep all 9 of these babies. I'm going to figure out a way to do it just because of their genetics and the colors. I mean, their color is awesome. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm probably going to breed them out to 16 weeks, at least the real pretty ones, because that way I can tan the hides and use those or sell them or whatever.
Right.
That are just a basic white, But as far as when it comes time to process, oh no, they're going in the fridge or in the pot. That ain't gonna bother me a bit. Angela Case, hello.
Yeah, the first one, just name the first one Backwoods, and you won't feel guilty at all killing that one. You know what I mean? You beat that one on the table, you slap it around. You'll try to keep it alive a little longer than normal, just so you can have fun.
Well, the white buck that I'm giving the native, I already named that one Backwoods. The big buck that I got, Za's brother, his name, I named him Backwoods from Name Tribe. But and I've got one named Susanna. There's one named Virginia Roots. There's one named G2. I got one named after my niece. Milkmaid's got one. There's a few others. I named all the breeders. The Rabbit McNuggets, they don't get names. They get dipping sauce. That's about it. Ronnie Braun, what's going on? All right, guys. Tonight we are before I do anything, I did put the disclaimer in the description, but I'll go ahead and do the disclaimer now. Bug Dude, what's going on? This show is entertainment only. We are canning, and some of the recipes we do may or may not be approved by the FDA or whatever the alphabet companies that's in charge of food and what you can eat. But this is for entertainment purposes only. We're just sharing recipes that we have learned over the years from family members or friends or from the Ball Canning book. So, yeah, we're not pros. Can at your own risk. Do your own research. Awesome. Now, moving on, we are doing either sausage patties or hamburger patties. I'm doing country sausage. I think Virginia's doing country sausage. 101's doing hamburger patties. Susanna, what are you doing?
I'm doing sausage patties.
Cool. So we got 3 sausage patties and 1 hamburger. The reason I chose to do sausages, I got about a case of, maybe a case and a half of quart jars full of hamburger patties already in the basement. So, but I needed some more sausage because I did the sausage, man. I blew through those things quick. I literally would pop open a pint jar. If my memory serves correct, a pint holds 5 patty sausages. And I would pop open a pint jar and I would just eat it like for a snack. I'd throw it on a plate, heat it up, put some mustard, and I just go watch TV and just eat sausage. So yeah, I need some more sausage. But
can't go wrong.
No. Is there anybody else in the chat that wants to come up here and can with us? If so, say so, and I will.
Or is anyone canning that just to let us know if you are, just so we know, we can check and say hi?
Yeah, Fish Sticks, what's going on? Ronnie Brown, J556. Yeah, if you guys are canning, let us know you're canning along with us. If you want to hop up here and actually can with us, then do it. If not, just we'll do our thing. The process for canning sausage and hamburger patties is pretty much identical. The only differences would probably be the size jar you're using. I use the pint wide mouth jars for my sausage, simply because it seems like that's kind of like a serving, for myself. 5 sausages. It might take me 2 days to eat it, but they won't go bad. if I put them in quart jars, I kind of have a feeling that's just like a whole lot of sausage in there, and I might not have a chance to consume them all before they go bad.
Mhm.
Plus, the reason I put them in the pint jars the first time is because I had like 15 cases of pint jars, and I'm like, I got to use these pint jars. So I was making jelly and jam, and I was just like, I'll put some sausage in there too. So, and it worked out pretty good that the pints seemed to be a good size for me myself. But the process is exactly the same as canning hamburger meat. Everything is the same. The only difference is your time. For quarts, you're going to go the full 90 minutes. For pints, it's 75 minutes.
So you might actually beat me.
Yeah, I might.
I'm doing quarts, so that's a bigger. Yeah.
So you'll be the 90. Yeah. So we pre-cook the sausages. Just brown them up real good. You don't fully cook them. 75 to 80%. And there you go. Look at that. Ain't that pretty? But put them in the jars. Wipe the rims down real good because there is grease. Wipe your rims down real good with vinegar. Put them in the jars. Put them in your canner. Now, if your sausage is cold, you can put them in cold jars with cold lids in cold water in a cold canner and start at 0. It doesn't hurt anything. If your sausages are hot, then you want to use warm water and go ahead and crank your canner up. But you just want to try to get your temperatures as close as possible. I mean, they don't have to be exact. They don't have to be perfect, just close. My stuff, I cooked it about 2 hours ago, so it's pretty much cold. So I'm just doing a cold start and going from there. But Virginia's getting started, and you see the process. You're just going to work them in there as best you can. Now, the cool thing about the patty sausages is they fit really good with the wide mouth jars. And even the hamburger patties, the last time I did those, I got the ones at Walmart. I just got the sleeve where they're frozen and they're already pre-cut. And I just cooked them up, and they fit in there pretty well. So, but all right. So I guess we will get started. Chrissy Drill, how you doing? Rainy,
Virginia, did you shape those, or are you just coming straight out of the package like that?
She shaped those.
I shaped them. Yeah,
you did a great job. Those are look like they were made in a factory.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're like all perfect and round.
How you doing? All right.
I did hamburgers.
Nice.
I can fit 5 hamburgers in 1 pint.
Nice.
I'm doing dry canning.
I'm doing dry as well.
I use this brand. You can probably buy these anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
There's 20 hamburgers in each pack.
That's about the same.
So I'm going to end up doing, I think, 35 hamburgers. So that's a lot of room I saved in my freezer. Think about that. That allows me to go buy some other stuff to put in there.
And it lasts a whole lot longer than 6 months. You know what I mean? Because when you freeze meat, they say 6 months. I mean, you can go longer, but canning it's the way to go.
You look at these; they're way bigger than the lid, right? But they shrink down to where they fit right inside.
Oh, good.
That's why I was worried about. Oh, they ain't gonna fit, and I was able to get I can get 5 patties in there.
Nice. Rainy Steph, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, let's load up our jars and get this thing started, and then we'll come back and we'll just talk smack about other people.
Okay, cool.
Let me see here. I'm gonna bring up my camera, my phone. Bring up this. Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Now, hey, so I'm using the Presto, right?
Yeah.
Do I still put the same amount of water in there if I'm doing pints?
Yeah, I do. I always just do about 2 inches of water.
Okay, because it comes pretty close up to the neck. And that's okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Or you can go a little less if you want to. Just, you know.
Yeah. It'll take a little while.
Wow. As y'all can see, I only had enough sausages for 4 jars. I actually got 7 in each one. So the other 4 jars I just filled up with water to fill the room so that they don't jiggle and go over and break.
Okay, good to know. You're canning water.
And if you want to, you put a lid on the water and you can it just like you're canning anything else. And now you've got sterilized water. You can actually put washcloths, bandages, gauze, things like that in the water and sanitize. And now you've got sanitized water and sanitized, gauze and medical stuff. But you can actually can water. It's not a big deal.
So I had a question about that. what if I'm doing pints right now, and I still
what?
I'm doing pints, right? And
Okay.
Say I didn't have enough jars, so I came up one short. Can I use a 1 quart jar of water?
Yeah. You just want to fill that space so the jars don't fall over. Yeah, you can use a quart.
So what if it was water I already used the time before? Do I got to open it up and then reseal it again, or will it hurt it to?
I don't think it would really hurt it, but I'd open it up just to release the pressure and let it go through the system again, or just get an empty jar and sit it in there.
So how long do you got to go, Virginia? You got to go
90. Yep. And I just turned my fire on. I think sometimes I come up to temp a little bit faster than some of you doing pints, so we might all finish at the same time. That's what she said. Hey, Biaxo.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to say you're going to find a way to get done. I already got my heat going a few minutes ago. And I was going, I only got to go 75 minutes, but somehow you're going to beat me.
Somehow, man. Okay, while this is building up, I'm going to go down and say hi to everyone in chat, and I will be right back.
Okay. Hey, Moon Sprouts, hugs and kisses. What's going on? AZ Infidel. How's everybody doing tonight? We've got 42 people in here. I think I've said hello to everybody. Brenda, hello.
Hello, everyone in chat.
So, homies.
look at Hoodow, paying attention to details. Well, I had 30 patties. I got 7 in each jar. 7 times 4 is 28. So I had 2 patties left over. Instead of cramming them in there, I've been smelling that fresh cooked sausage for the last 3 hours. So guess what Ghost's having for dinner? Or midnight snack. He's gonna have him some sausage biscuits. Yep. So I put the sausage in the microwave. Yeah, Chrissy Drill. You don't have to do broth. With the sausage patties, I personally suggest not using any liquid whatsoever, simply because I like my sausage, a little crunchy. Most people do. Your hamburger patties, I use broth with that, but I use beef broth, it seems to work just fine. But you can them dry if you want to. It's not a big deal. Yeah, canning the patties, the process is exactly the same as canning hamburger meat. It's just way easier because you don't have to brown the hamburger meat and do all that stuff. You just kind of throw the patties on the grill, cook them about 75 or 80% through to get most of the grease out. And then, technically you can just throw them in there raw and can them, but you're going to have a lot of grease caked in there. Canning them dry, you're still going to have some grease. The patty on the bottom may be completely submerged in grease. But I've eaten them, then they were canned for over 2 years that way, and they were perfectly fine. I mean, there was no funk, there was no mold or anything like that. So, but any kind of meat, you can go dry or wet, as far as I know. Sausage biscuits are good eating. You got that right. You're welcome, Chrissy. Lake Ferry, what's going on, Lake? How are you? DJ Katz, what's going on? Yeah, I was trying to decide. This was the closest poll we've had as far as canning. The patties literally won by, I think, 2%. It was like 48 to 46 or something like that. And either, I think it was
it the beans and ham? No?
Yeah, it was the ham and bean soup. Yeah.
I thought that was going to win.
I did too. But the patties came from behind and smoked it there at the end.
Yeah, I voted for beans and ham.
I did too, actually. I need some more ham and bean soup. But the way I like to do the ham and bean soup is I like to get a whole ham on the bone, like a spiral ham, country ham or something at the holidays. Like the holidays are coming up this Thanksgiving, Christmas, I'll do it again, but I've still got some downstairs from last year. But once I'm done with the ham, I'll take that bone and I'll put it in a crock pot, and that's where I make my ham broth from, and I'll throw the beans in there, and I'll make the ham and bean soup, straight from the ham. But last year I canned the entire ham. I found a ham on sale like 3 days after Christmas, and I bought the whole ham, brought it home, and I took all the meat off the bone and canned it up. It felt like 5 or 6 quart jars of spiral ham. I canned it up. It's good. The texture's a little bit different, than a fresh ham.
I was talking to Mark at Rolling Homestead a few weeks ago, and he did sloppy joes. He canned sloppy joes. That just sounds so good.
Well, that was on the poll. Nobody voted for it. It was like the last place. And I was wanting to do sloppy. I want to do sloppy joes. We're going to have to do sloppy joes pretty good. Yeah. We eat a lot of those around here. I love sloppy joes. But yeah, I honestly thought sloppy joes was going to win. But I think it came in last place, like for real. I think like 3 people voted for sloppy joe.
I picked ham and beans and ham because it just sounded like it would be harder to do. So I figured I'd want to do this.
Honestly, really, it isn't. You do the same process like when you're canning any kind of beans, except, now you're putting your ham in there. But like what I do is I make a big old crock pot of ham and bean soup, and then we eat it for supper. And then what's left, I can. And then I'll take the bone, and once I can the soup, I'll put the bone back in the pot, and I'll fill it up with water, and I'll let it simmer for I'll literally let it cook all day long, and it'll make a whole bunch of ham broth, and then I can it up the next day. But there's a real good video on the ham and bean soup. It's on Guildbrook Farms, GUILDBROOK, Guildbrook Farms. She's got a video that she did the ham and bean soup. That's the way I did it. I watched her do it, and that's why I done it. She did it with a bone, and she simmered it in the crock pot, and pulled all the meat off, and then made her beans and mixed the meat with it. And it looks so good. And then she took the bone, put it back in the pot, and made a big old batch of bone broth. That's my favorite thing to can, bone broth.
Hey, so you were talking about some beans a few weeks ago. What kind of beans were those? Gosh darn it. Cranberry beans? What?
Yeah. Cranberry beans? Yeah, it's a variety of pintos. Hang on, I think I have a bag right here.
I've never heard of them, and I just heard you talk about it and I go, man, I gotta find that. I forgot what it was, and it was cranberry beans.
Oh, I have a bag up here, but I don't. No, a cranberry bean. It's a type of pinto bean. It's just sweeter. It does awesome in chili. It makes the best chili. If you don't like your chili smoking hot, it's like a pinto, but it's got it's a different color. It's like it's like a cream color with like pink splotches all over it. It's delicious. It's so good. I never even heard of them before until about a year ago. Yeah, Susanna's canning with us. Hey, K2.
Yes, I'm canning.
Hi, everybody.
K2. Look at K2. Stolen Valor show PAID, big bro. Yeah, that's going to happen.
Hello, everybody in chat. Hi, Lake Fairy.
What's up, Lake Fairy?
Lake, you want to come up here? We got room. I'm guessing K2 was making a joke. I don't remember ever speaking to K2 before, but whatever.
What did K2 say? They got deleted. What?
ID. Said stolen valor. He wanted me to show my cat card, my VA ID card.
Oh.
He said something about stolen valor or whatever. Please. Anybody, if you want to steal my valor, steal it. I don't care. You can have the PTSD with it. No problem, Lake.
Nothing, nobody.
I ain't proving nothing. I ain't showing my ID for nobody. And there are people out here on YouTube that'll actually take their DD214 and show it as proof. I mean, what? That's number one. It's easy to fake a DD214, and number two, I would never show anybody my personal information. Hoot Owl, no, they're about the same size, man. They're just a different variety of pinto bean. They're like a strain of pinto, and they are delicious. After eating them, you'll never want to have regular pintos again. I mean, it spoiled me on pintos.
So if we do ham and bean soup, do the beans go in dry, or is it fully prepared like in a crock pot and then get jarred up?
I would never. The only time I ever done beans dry was the time that we done it with Jess. That was my first time. I always pre-cook them. But as far as doing it in soup, I would definitely cook them first.
Right.
Simply because you're gonna want as much juice in there as possible. I mean, it's soup, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, Debbie, the cranberry beans are a lot softer than regular pintos. So you really don't have to really rock them too hard. Like the ones I did in the canner, I haven't eaten any of those yet. But I could tell that they're a lot softer than the pintos because several of them kind of like popped open in the jar. You can see it, but I mean, that's that. It's still edible. I'll work through it. Same way with lima beans. Lima beans you don't process for the hour and a half. I think lima beans go for. I think lima beans are like a weird time, like 50 minutes or something. They're a lot less than pintos and stuff like that. They completely fall apart. But I don't care if my lima beans fall apart because that's the best soup in the world, lima bean soup.
Yeah, lima beans, I either cook them too much or not enough. I've never found that happy spot.
I cook them to death. I just love the soup. I don't care if the beans can completely fall apart. You can strain out all the shells and pour that soup over some rice with some kind of meat, and I'm happy. I'm so happy. I don't care if fried bologna, fried hamburgers, a hamburger patty, ham, whatever. Hey, Mark, what's going on? Be charming. Hello.
Hi, B.
Remember when I was 15 years old, I spent the summer with my grandfather, and we went gold mining on the American River up north in California.
Huh?
We did that throughout the whole summer. And you'd come back, you were like you were camping on the river, you roughed it for 7-8 days at a time. And every time we came back, that's what he made. He made fried potatoes with red onion, raw red onion slice, cornbread, and a big old pot of lima beans.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite.
It's like you look for. I remember there's a long drive, windy ride home, and you just look forward to that meal. So good.
Oh, hey, Angela's doing cream cheese, you guys.
Nice.
How do you do that?
Q Kitchen and Beyond. Hello.
Hi, Jess.
Jess, did you get my email today, or actually last night when I sent it?
Hey,
101. Sorry, Susanna. 101. Jess has a video canning cream cheese. I watched it. It's very good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's a regular cream cheese. You can can it.
Yep.
Oh, because that's like.
I think it's a Rebel canning type of thing, but it's one of those. I don't think it's allowed in some of the books, but yeah, certainly. But neither is bacon, and we did that together.
Well, Jess, from now on, I think something happened when, I don't know what happened. Like, I added your name to the list just like everybody else's. I sent out one email, and I clicked on your name as well. And this is like the second or third time you haven't got it. So next week or week after when we do this again, I'm just going to send you like your own email and see if it'll like maybe reload in the system or something. I don't understand why it's not going to you. Maybe it has something to do with you hosting the show that one time, but I don't see why because it wasn't on my stream. So I don't know. But I just dropped the link if you want to come up here and chat with us and hang out.
I know I got a serious problem. If I try to email somebody, if I'm the first person to email, I don't know why it never goes through, or everybody's just ignoring me.
Never.
You didn't get it because you deleted it, Virginia.
Tiger 454, what's going on?
Hey, Tiger.
Let's see who we got. Could it be? Is it? Yes, I believe it is.
Why? Oh, there we go.
Hey, girl.
I'm like, why is my camera not working? How you doing, Virginia?
Good.
Hey. We were just talking about you when I first started the stream, and I was talking about this email thing. Everybody up here right now was on the same email link. I also emailed Tribe and Native, and you. And I don't know why it's just you. And it when you do a StreamYard and you click the email address, it'll the emails that you've emailed, and it'll ask you, do you want to email these people as well? It even suggests your name, and I click it, just like everybody else.
YouTube hates me right now.
Do what?
YouTube hates me right now. Gmail hates me. Everything hates me.
No, I'm just gonna send you like one by yourself, like completely separate, and maybe it'll reload it into the system or something.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should look in my spam. Someone said look in spam. And I look like heck. I'm sorry. I got makeup everywhere. I just spent 2 hours in the garden harvesting a bunch of stuff. So the garden exploded on me. It's insane.
Yeah, I planted sweet potatoes and more red potatoes. The sweet potatoes popped this morning. The other potatoes haven't yet. The onions took off like crazy. All my peppers came back to life. I severely picked up the watering, and they just exploded. The tomatoes are nuts. The big Zac that I have out there, I bet it already weighs about 1.5 pounds.
Wow.
It's massive.
Can you see that?
Hang on, I'll put you on big screen. Oh, wow.
That's what
Beautiful.
I just got done harvesting. I know, that's like really fuzzy. I don't know why, but a lot of work.
Yeah.
I watched some of your garden video today while I was getting ready for canning. Everything looks so awesome. I can't believe your squash. It's amazing.
I look worse than I thought I did. Ghost blew me up. I'm like, oh my God. Hey, Susanna. Yeah, that garden is ridiculous.
Who up?
Huh?
What'd you say? Somebody blew up?
My garden blew up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Zani. Hey, Za, what's going on?
Hi, Za.
Having fun with the kittens.
Hello, Za.
Yeah, I just planted some butter crunch lettuce, and I planted some spinach, some kale, and some Swiss chards.
Wow.
And I'm gonna plant probably 3 or 4 more collard green plants as soon as it cools off a little bit. And those are pretty much exclusively for the rabbits. I thought about it, and I've decided I'm not going to tractor them. I'm not going to put them on the ground because we have so many wild rabbits here. Like, they're everywhere, and they carry a lot of diseases. And I'm just not going to take a chance on putting my meat rabbits on the ground.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't suggest it. When I first got into rabbits, I got into watching all these YouTubers doing it on the ground. And there was one that actually raised the rabbits on the ground in a barn. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool, like an ecosystem. I'm like, I'm going to do that. Yeah, that was the dumbest mistake ever. They bred so many babies. They dug under the barn. They got out all over the yard. I had wild rabbits basically all over my yard from my breeders. It was horrible.
Yeah, I'm already in the cage.
So, lesson learned in that. Yeah, I need to start, now that I got everything out of the garden, well, not everything, but a lot of stuff I harvested, now I got to work on planting the fall garden. Tiger says they're starting their fall garden on Monday.
Anybody have a jiggler on? Mine's about to go on.
Is anybody canning with you guys in the chat?
Someone's doing cream cheese. I didn't see anyone else, but I don't always see it. So yeah, if anyone is, please let us know. That'd be awesome.
I got my cap
Tiger.
on my face, so I'm just
Hello.
waiting for the to pop up.
Oh, you have to wait for yours to pop up and then you start timing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just checked my spam. I didn't have anything in my spam either.
Your own email next time.
No. I was having all kinds of problems with YouTube and Gmail and stuff like that. Like here in the last week, I had to contact YouTube and tell them they're hiding all my comments. Like all my notifications were messed up. Nobody was getting notifications. Like it was crazy. So I spent like half an hour to an hour talking to YouTube trying to fix everything.
Wow. I'm still trying to get used to doing the whole YouTube thing.
Yeah. You're welcome, Tiger. How you doing, Prepper 101?
Good. How are you?
Good. Tired. I'm exhausted from all that harvesting.
Yeah, you had a nice garden, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know next year I'm not gonna do hydroponics at all in the water, except for like lettuces and stuff, like the tomatoes and everything. I'm like 99.9% convinced that it's just way smarter to sprinkle the hydroponic nutrients on the dirt and water it in. Because I mean that one tomato plant that I did that with outside, it's heads and shoulders above the rest. It's dark green, it's in the dirt. I mean, it's putting out tomatoes like crazy.
Yeah.
Ghost, I just sent you and Jess an email. Maybe if you both get it, then maybe that's the correct email, because we emailed before, and that's the email I used for her.
Okay. I mean, Jess and I have emailed back and forth dozens of times. I mean, so I know I got the right email address. It's just something, I don't know if it's something StreamYard. I don't know. It's weird. Some kind of filter or something. I don't know. One thing, I got up to pressure really fast. And I was like, my jiggler was going nuts. I turned my oven down to like less than 1, and it's at pressure.
Is it hot in there?
I think maybe it's because what's in the canner is mostly water, because I'm only doing 4 pint jars, so it got the pressure like really fast.
Oh, okay. Can you hear that running water behind me? Is that like super loud? Okay. My pump is running because the Barrett's watering the animals right now, so it's like super loud to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna do hydros this week. This winter, I'm gonna do hydroponics, but I'm also doing this winter. I'm gonna build me a new aquaponics system for my fish and get my tilapia and catfish going again. So that's the best garden I ever grew. Plus, it was awesome meat, awesome fish. It's just delicious. So I'm gonna get it built this winter, so next spring I can start off with the tilapia.
Yeah. I don't know. It just growing in the ground works for me. I don't see any reason for switching it up. So
No, I don't. The only reason I'm doing hydroponics and aquaponics here is because my dirt is really sandy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in like one of the few. I mean, there are still stuff that grows in the dirt here. I mean, like beans do really good, potatoes do good, stuff like that. But the main reason why I'm doing it all in containers is so my garden can be mobile. Like when I first planted it this year, it got really cold a couple nights, and I was able to just grab the bucket and bring everything in the basement, and then put them back outside. Which I plan on doing this winter, because even in the winter here, it gets down in the 20s, a few times, but during the daytime, it'll be up in the 50s and 60s, and I can bring the plants outside during the daytime, let them get some sun, and then bring them in at night when it gets close to freezing, and hopefully do a garden year round.
Yeah.
but I guess it makes sense with having mostly water in there. I mean, I've only got 4 jars, so but yeah, I got the pressure really fast. Yeah, I'm thinking manwich would be good. Something else I was thinking about doing is meatballs. Like different, I've seen different ways of different flavorings and different seasonings, like doing them like in almost like your spaghetti sauce, doing them with the meatballs in there. Or,
yeah, I love meatballs canned. They're really good.
Thinking doing meatballs, manwich, or sloppy joe, soups. You know, once we get towards the winter, everybody's going to want to do chili and things like that.
Yeah. I did this morning trying to get rid of some of those vegetables. I did a bunch of vegetable soup.
Yeah. Yeah, I made a big batch of vegetable beef soup.
Yeah.
I still got several jars. Teriyaki. Yeah, that's a good one. Chicken Homestead says teriyaki meatballs.
Oh, yeah.
Anything teriyaki.
I was thinking you can do a lot of different. I mean, you got to stay away from the crazy seasoning parts, but like anything like, you know, like with a tomato sauce or a teriyaki, even like a little bit of barbecue sauce would do well. I mean, I did barbecue pork one time, and the canning process with the barbecue sauce just, man, it kicked it way over the top. Like,
It didn't make it watery for you?
no, I did pulled pork. And with barbecue sauce, and it just man, it caramelized and just took the barbecue flavoring over the roof.
Oh wow.
And to me, yeah, it was still edible, but it was really intense.
Yeah, the one time I tried to do barbecue sauce, it just like basically turned to water.
Mm.
But maybe it's because the barbecue sauce I use is like no sugar in it.
Maybe.
So, I've
never had any kind of good experience canning anything with a lot of barbecue sauce in it. It just always seems to like pick it up to like level 50 as far as the flavor goes. I guess it depends on what else in the barbecue sauce, because I mean, you know, people put all kinds of crazy stuff in barbecue sauce.
Right. Laura says I finally canned for the first time. Congratulations, Laura.
Good job, Laura. Hey, so I'm
Laura.
probably going to do tomorrow or Monday. I'm probably going to do corned beef and cabbage. Can you can cabbage?
That sounds really good.
I was actually reading up on cabbage today and how to can it, because everything I've ever learned about it is the cabbage gets too soggy. But if you take the cabbage, what I was reading is if you take the cabbage and put salt on it and like squish it, crunch it or whatever, and try to get all that water out of the cabbage and then can it, they say that might work better. So
I did fried cabbage with sausage, smoked sausage, and canned it, and it's delicious. Like,
did it get like really soft, the cabbage, or did it still have a little bit of a crunch?
It's soft. I'm not gonna lie. It's not mushy.
Yeah.
But it's not crunchy by no means. But I mean, it's you know, and that's what I tell everybody. Don't start canning food and think it's gonna feel the same way and taste the same way in your mouth as having fresh food. It ain't gonna happen. It's the palate. I mean, the texture is gonna change and the flavor is gonna change. The only thing I've ever canned where the texture and flavor were almost identical is chicken. And you know, chicken holds together great in a pressure canner.
Yeah.
Everything else changes a little bit, you know, and I've heard rabbits the same way as chicken, so I'm looking forward to canning some rabbit.
Oh yeah, I love rabbit. I love canned rabbit. It's so good. It's so tender. And then I'm one of those weird people that makes, you know, stock or whatever out of every type of animal I could. And the rabbit stock is really, really good too.
When I canned a roast beef, I really loved it. I was in love with it. Like, I couldn't get enough of it. And I didn't put salt or anything in it either. It's just like the flavor just came out in it. It was just really good.
Yeah. I try not to season anything that I can. I try not to. Just because That's the thing. In the canning process, it's going to bring out some natural flavors. I mean, I will use salt and a little bit of pepper sometimes, but like if I'm doing something like chili or spaghetti, I just cook the chili or spaghetti in that way I normally would. And it doesn't really change the taste that much because there's so much going on. There's so many different flavors in spaghetti and in chili that they kind of cancel each other out. Nobody actually takes charge and changes the flavor. But if you're doing something and the only thing you're seasoning it with, is one flavor, I think maybe the canning process can really focus on that.
I think too, like when people like start canning and cooking their own food like we're doing, I don't know what it is, but I completely overeat when I open one of those can jars. Like I cannot get enough, like Susanna was saying, like it's ridiculously good.
It is though, right?
Yeah. It's insane.
I was really shocked when I did the roast beef. And so was my husband because we opened it and tried it and it was like the most delicious thing ever.
Oh yeah.
How did
Like
you
last
cook the roast
night,
beef? Did
I
you
had the
cook it
munch.
before you canned it?
What was that?
Did you cook the roast beef before you canned it?
Oh no, I did it raw. I did raw pack.
You did, right? You're talking about the ones that we did a month or so ago? The beef stew?
No, it
you-
was just roast beef. It was after the first time that we canned, and I wanted to try it so bad I couldn't help it, and I couldn't help it, and I just
Damn
did
it,
it by
Susanna, you got
myself.
cheating on me.
I just did it by myself, and I couldn't help it, but it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really done anything by myself since then, but I do want to do that roast beef again.
I did some canned chicken a while ago, and I popped open one of those jars. And last night, or maybe it was the night before, I don't even remember. My time frame is so gone. But I made some Alfredo chicken with it, like a thick Alfredo chicken and some spinach. And oh my! I ate so much of that stuff. I made myself sick. I'm like, you have to stop. You have to stop. And I couldn't stop myself. I'm like, ah.
One of my favorite things to do is just grab a block of Velveeta cheese, throw it in the crock pot, put a little bit of butter, a little bit of milk, a can of Rotel or tomatoes and peppers, and then I just grab a pint jar with a pound of ground beef and throw it in there and stir it up and eat. I just did that last night. I love that Rotel with the meat in it. The canned hamburger meat works really good for dip, and it works really, really good for tacos because the textures are not that important.
Yeah. I've used it for a lot of things already. The canned hamburger.
Mm.
I'm excited with that too. Like I bought 20 pounds of hamburger and canned it already since we done it. And like we use it for tacos. I use it for I put gravy in it and put it over mashed potatoes. I mean, I do all kinds of stuff with it. And if you don't season it, you can just do anything with it. And it just tastes really good.
Yeah, that's the only danger when you season stuff when you're canning it. Because if you pre-season it, it depends on what you season it with. You kind of reduce the amount of dishes that you can put it in. Yeah. Because a lot of people, they'll can their hamburger meat, they'll can it, with taco seasoning in it. Well, you just pretty much, that's the only thing you're going to be able to use that hamburger meat for. But if you just can it plain, you can do it with your tacos. You can put it in your Rotel dip. You can put it over rice, make gravy with it. You can do whatever you want to with it.
Yeah.
And I'm picky with hamburger too. And I don't know what it does to the hamburger, but I love it. Whatever it's doing, I love it. And I do the dry. I don't like the wet. I did try one of the wet that day that we did it. And I wasn't too fond of it, but I do love the dry canning.
Yeah, the dry versus the wet's a big difference. Like even the wet, I mean, the way I use it is I pour it into a strainer and strain all the liquid out, and then throw it in a pan and heat it up and cook with it. I've made tacos with it. I made dip with it. It turns out just fine. There is a difference. Believe it or not, there's a difference in the flavor in the wet ground beef versus the dry canned ground beef. At least to me, there is.
Oh yeah, and if you do the bigger jars, you can put a little aside in the fridge to make a different meal out of it, and I just love canning. Thank you, Ghost.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I just want to say, Felicia just hopped into your chat, Ghost, and I want to thank Felicia for coming over. Hope you're having a good night. Now, I don't know if you heard, Ghost, but I've been doing canning sessions, private sessions behind the scenes for like new beginner canners that don't have a channel or don't want to be on the panel or whatever, want more one-on-one time. And Felicia has been one of them that has shown up every single time. So she's really enjoying learning to can, and she's been really watching your channel too. So,
well, hello, Felicia. Nice to meet you. Yeah,
Thank
canning.
you for coming.
I told you, Susanna, like 3 months ago when we started this. Once you start canning, it's like crack. It's addictive.
It
Once
is.
you start, like literally every time I walk into Walmart, the first section I go to is the canning section to see if I got any jars or any lids. Like I don't care what day of the week it is, what time. I'm going to see if I got lids and jars. Then I go get food.
I've been going to Ace Hardware about every other weekend or so, and stocking up on more lids. Every once in a while some more jars, but mostly lids.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding the lids down here. I'm finding jars. I mean, I get a couple of cases every week. But as far as the lids, no. I mean, this week they had like 2 cases of lids in there, but they weren't ball lids. They were a brand I've never heard of before, and they were the regular size. And I predominantly use the wide mouth just simply because it's easier to get the stuff out of the jar.
Right.
You know, just liquid. If it's like a broth or something, I'll use a regular mouth. But pretty much everything else, I want wide mouth. And
well, Per came out with jars and lids, and I haven't tried the jars yet, but I did pick up one of each of the Per lids to try them. So I will try those and see how those work. And I'll probably pick up one thing of jars just to see.
I've heard good stuff about Kerr. Like
no, not Kerr. It's Per. It's a brand called Per. Yeah, PUR.
Never heard of that. And then the ones I saw in Walmart were like country something. I've never heard of them before.
Yeah, they've Per came in. I seen them. They're at Ace Hardware.
Okay.
That's where I got him at. And so I'm gonna try it and see how those work out.
I'm just lucky that 2 years ago I started stocking up on lids. Like a bunch, like hundreds and hundreds of them. So I'm lucky. If I hadn't have done that, I'd be freaking out right now because I'm wanting to can and I can't find no lids. I would be angry. Angry.
I did order a couple months ago. I ordered some of the Tatler lids. So I'll probably try those lids at some point too and see how that goes.
I know one thing I want to do before too long is can meatloaf.
So good.
Every time I hear meatloaf, it's that part from Christmas Story when the little brother, he's like, meatloaf.
Hey, there you go, Susanna. Tiger just said that Sutton's Days did a review on Per, and they're amazing. And let me tell you something: if she gives them a good review, then they got to be good because this woman knows how to can.
Oh, that's awesome then, because they have a lot of Per in there and ball. And I picked up some of those dissolving labels. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really lay. I mean, I just put a piece of painter's tape on the lid and write it on there with a Sharpie. But as far as, I mean, you can look at the jar and tell what's in it. I just want to get the date on there.
Right. Well, I figured, especially the lids, because the lids, you can write on them and they, you can't keep them forever anyway.
Right.
But I thought I would try those on certain things that I was using, and just to, try one and then try it out and see how that works. Because I really don't know how long it will last on there, or, know.
Yeah, the meatloaf, Felicia, I saw a couple of videos on that, and Ball makes I think it's a 3/4 quart, but it's the jar is round. Like the jar is literally the size of the opening. Have you ever seen those jars?
I haven't.
Yes, I've seen them.
I've got them. The case only has 9 in it, but like the entire jar is the size of the mouth of the jar. So you can pack your meatloaf in there. It's like a tube. You can pack your meatloaf in, and when you turn it, the whole thing just slides right out. You ain't got to go in there and dig in. There's no shoulder. Basically, there's no shoulder on the jar. It's like they're a little bit taller than the quarts, but yeah, they're just completely perfectly round. They're a tube. They're kind of hard to find, but those are perfect for the meatloaf.
They are hard to find, and I found them once, and I bought one thing of them, and I haven't found any since. I should have bought more.
Yeah, I've got a case on downstairs. I did. I use them. I put smoked sausage in there.
The meatloaf, you would put it in like one big chunk. You wouldn't do it in slices. It'd be one big.
You put it in there raw, pretty much, is the way I saw it. Yeah, you mix it all up, all your meatloaf, just like you would when you put it in the oven, and you just shove it all in the jar and let it go. I wish you'd seen that jar. It's not a pint. It's like 3/4 of a quart. It's not quite a quart. I'm gonna go find one. I got some downstairs. I'm gonna go get one.
So what's everybody on the panel canning since I came in so late?
I'm doing Jimmy Dean sausage.
Okay.
Everyone's doing sausage, but me, I'm doing hamburgers.
I'm doing the Safeway Select sausage patties that I formed myself as well, because I like that brand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yum yum. Makes me hungry.
Safeway Select is awesome. Oh, girl, the whole kitchen smells like breakfast because a few of mine were also the maple flavor. I had regular, hot, and maple. So, yeah.
Sounds so good.
They're pint and a half, Jess.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
See how the jar is exactly the same size as the. I mean, so everything just is there. It's one size all the way up.
Okay.
Oh, it's a tall pint?
It's a pint and a half.
Oh.
But it doesn't have any shoulders. See, the opening is the size of the jar.
Huh.
You pack it tight and turn upside down, everything just slides right out.
Yeah, that would make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
I was wondering about doing brats. So it's like any meat, 90 minutes for quart, and
This is cool. It's got its own measure. I just noticed this. Check this out. It's got its own measuring in it. It's like a measuring cup. It's got milliliters and cups. 2 cups. This is a really nice jar. It's got its own. It's labeled. I don't know if you see it. The whole jar is labeled all the bottom to top.
Per ounce?
Ounces and liters.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So what do you can the pint and a half at?
I did them at quart size. Anything over a pint go to quart.
Okay.
And this is just the smoked sausage. These things are good. Yeah, but those are awesome jars.
All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to have to hop off here. I haven't even got dinner done yet, so I need to go get dinner done. But I'll leave you playing.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us.
You're welcome.
Okay. Love you.
Everybody. Love you guys. I'll see you next time.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Hello, Sheila. Hello, Phoenix. We got people in the chat. Debbie Sims. Yeah, Proud Mom 1966. It's pint and a half size jars. It's hard to find. Yeah, I'm gonna do some brats. Definitely want to do some brats.
Mm-hmm.
I was just at Sam's when I was in Florida about a year and a half ago, and I found these smoked sausages. They had them on. You know how they'll have somebody there with a little counter, and they'll be giving you samples of new stuff they want to push. Well, they
Oh
had
yeah.
these smoked sausages, and they were giving samples, and these things were the best sausages I'd like. Literally, they were awesome, and they had them like dirt cheap. You could get like a package of like 50 of them for like $8. So I mean, I got like 200 of these things, and I went home and just started canning sausage. I've got a whole bunch of these jars downstairs with sausage in them. You know, some of them are just smoked, some of them I put in with the jalapenos, and yeah, they're awesome.
Well, hey, I think we should do it.
Yeah, do some brats.
Mm-hmm.
Alaska Prepper did a video doing his brats. He did a really good video on it.
Do you pre-boil them in beer or just raw? Any liquid, anything?
No, he packed them in there raw. Like these, because these have a skin on them, so you have to take a fork and poke a bunch of holes, or they'll explode. I know that from experience because I've got several jars downstairs where they just blow up. They still taste great. They're still delicious. They taste exactly the same. They're just really, really ugly. I mean, it looks like I shoved like zombie brains in the jar.
Oh my
That's
God.
really funny.
Yeah, for real, they do. I'll go get a jar and show it to you if you don't believe me. They're great.
Oh, please do. I think everyone would love to see that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. Did you do pints or quarts, Susanna?
I did pints.
Okay. So I think I'm the only quart person. But see, I have 3 sons. So I figured if I was going to do it, I think each quart got 6 or 7 of those in there. So if I feed my boys, they'll each have 1 or 2. And that'll just be one meal gone, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah. That's another thing people need to do is think about the size of their families when they're canning and what each person likes.
Yep. Totally agree. I like having the hamburger separate with no sauce in it or anything because you can add anything to it. At that point, I could make spaghetti, or I've done nachos a few times. Just open up a can and do the nachos.
Yeah, we've
Oh,
done
it's
that
so
too.
good.
Mm-hmm. It was. And you know what's funny? Like, I'm so picky with hamburger. I'm telling you, I would not eat it like hardly ever. Now I'm eating it. It's just so good. And then I'll make my plate, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta get ready for this because usually I'll take like a couple bites and I won't eat anymore.
Right.
And no, I find myself eating it all now.
Okay, zombie brain sausages.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
Oh, wow.
Just split and explode.
I like sausages that are split like that.
I like to split them and put them on the grill and get the whole inside and outside really charred.
Mm-hmm.
How many patties are y'all getting in each? I'm doing sausage, and I got 7 patties in a pint jar. And I think 101 said he got 5 or 6. No, 5. How many did you get? 5.
5.
I got 7 or 8 into each quart, Stanley. I made the sausage patties a little bit bigger around to kind of fit flush into the jar. I did 8 rolls of Jimmy Dean, and I cut each of those into 6 portions. So that was a total of 48, and I did 6 jars. One of the jars could have used one more piece. But so for me, 7 or 8, but mine were a little bit thicker.
Yeah, they look good too. You shaped them nice.
Thank you. I'm a meat master.
That sounds about right. Hang with Jesus. That sounds about right.
Patties in pints. I figured they came out 5. There's 3 of us, so 5's pretty good. You know, everybody gets a bigger, and then there's 2 left over.
Yeah, kicking the homestead, all mine are ball. I have like 4 cases that are anchor something. That I've only used a few jars out of that, but they were a gift. But yeah, everything else I have is all ball.
Well, so I'm excited now to try out the purr then.
Yeah, if I can find some. I can't find any lids except for this country something style that I saw yesterday, and I've never heard of them before, and they were only the regular mouth. And I have very few regular mouth jars.
Right.
That I was saying, hang with Jesus, 1,400 for a family of 4. I mean, it depends. I mean, it's going to depend on is every single meal you're eating canned food. Does 1 quart jar? I mean, is it something like spaghetti sauce where you can stretch it, and that 1 jar is a complete meal for all 4 of you? It depends on what you got canned, but a family of 4 for a year. I mean, 365 days in a year, 3 meals. I mean, you're over 1,000. So yeah, I would definitely say that'd be about right. I know I'm well in excess of that. Yeah, it's just going to depend on if you're eating canned food, just for lunch and supper, or if you're just doing it for supper, or what.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it depends on a lot of things. Who eats what, how much of what, how many meals can you get out of it, either in a day or throughout that week with just one, depending on how big the jar is and who eats it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 1,400 is a lot, but if you're seriously canning and you're getting a couple cases, 3-4 cases a week, it doesn't take long at all to jump way above the 1,000 mark. It happens really quick. If you're like Susanna and you get hooked and you just, every time you walk to a store, you see something, you're like, yep, I'm going to can that. It does not take long at all to really get a lot of jars if you can find them.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe I can find some for you, Ghost.
I mean, I've got plenty of jars and plenty of lids. I was lucky because I was stocked up before all this happened, and I don't have a problem finding jars. I mean, I just got 2 cases this week. I got 2 cases last week. They just don't have the lids. You got to get I'm getting
Right.
lids. I'm getting them with the jar. They don't have the individual lids.
Right.
Yeah, and you figure 1,400 isn't much. I mean, there's 12 to a case, so 1,400 divided by 12. It's not that many trips to the grocery store to get 1,400 jars. And the great part is it's a lot of money, but I mean, you're talking 1,400 jars. That's over $1,400 because they're about $1. I mean, a case, 12 jars, and a case down here costs like $13.50, something like that. So yeah, but they're reusable. That's the great part. They're reusable as long as you take care of them. They're reusable like forever. But yeah, it's an investment. It's
well, like I said at the beginning too. Look at the freezer space you're going to save, right? You can put other things in there. You can go buy, like right now, if we're going to go in another lockdown and this hamburger thing works here, I'm going to can regular, ground up a bunch of hamburger and cook it and put it in there. That's going to, because I buy those big old logs of hamburger meat. That's going to save a lot of space in my freezer.
That's how I do it. If you're the most important thing, at least for me to can, I love to can complete meals. I have cases of spaghetti, I have cases of chili, I have all kind of soup that you can think of. I like to can complete meals because it's a one and done. It's just heat it up if you want to. If you ain't got to heat it up. You can just eat it cold. There's like very little preparation time, if any, to do it, other than the spaghetti, with making the noodles. But that's why I like to cook my beans and can them, not dry can. I mean, I don't vacuum seal beans anymore because there's processing time involved. And I want to just open the jar and eat. And it frees up so much space. I can everything. I don't care. I'm gonna can it and see if I can milk. I can whatever I use. I'm gonna figure out a way to can it if it's at all possible, and I'm gonna can it. And chicken is the best by far. My favorite thing to can, just because of how flexible it is the chicken, because it's delicious. It holds up great. but the best part is you're getting, gallons of free chicken bone broth. Literally, I mean, a quart of bone broth, a quart of good quality organic chicken bone broth at Walmart is like $8 to $10 a quart. The last time I did chicken, I made enough bone broth that it paid back me buying the chicken, and I had money left over, if you want to look at it that way. I think I canned like 16 quarts of bone broth from 35 pounds of chicken.
When you did that chicken that day, that just looked so good. All that stuff looked so good.
It is. It is. It is. Ghost, it's amazing how fast those babies are growing. Yeah, I know they're massive. They're running all over the cage. I mean, they're like awesome. No, we have not done chili yet, Laura. I have mentioned it a couple times because I am running kind of low. I need to do another couple cases. But nobody's really voted for it when I put it in the poll every week. I think simply because it's hot outside, and most people don't really eat a whole lot of chili in the summer. Me, I do because I like it. Yeah. And Ghost, y'all should and chili or soup next. I'll put it on the poll. You guys vote for it because we can whatever it's voted for, and you don't have to be a cannibal. You don't have to be up there on the panel to vote. Anybody can vote. I put it in my community tab every week. We can on Saturdays. Every other Saturday we can. Like next Saturday it'll be the Prepper Summit, and then the following Saturday we'll can. And I usually put the poll up that Sunday or Monday before, and then we call a winner usually Thursday to give everybody a chance to go out and get the stuff. And this Saturday on the Prepper Summit, it's going to be Prepper 101. And I still haven't figured out who I'm going to put on there with him yet. I got to find somebody good. I'm not up here by myself. I got this thing on solo. Jeez. You guys should have told me. Chicken cornbread salad is a great summer meal. Yeah, it is. Chili, cornbread salad. I can eat chili any time of the year, Klingon. I mean, I love it. It's good. It's hearty. Fills you up. All right. Well, I'll definitely add chili to the mix next time around. Okay, somebody talk to me. Everybody's got their microphone muted. What's going on here?
Hey, Ghost.
Hey, y'all abandoned me.
I'm here.
Javon Cochran, tell Pinball I said hello. Who'd we lose? Oh, that's right. Jess had to leave.
Yeah.
How much time you got left, Susanna?
Let's see. 7 or about 20 minutes.
Oh, wow. You were rocking and rolling.
Wow, you'll be done in 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Dang,
It's 75 minutes for the smaller jars, right?
Wow, we found somebody that can give Virginia a run.
I've got 35 minutes. I never win. I'm never first. Even last time, everybody thought I was going to be first, and I ended up not being first.
I got an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah, because you had to go an hour and a half.
You did the bigger jars?
Yeah. Okay. You did quarts, right? 101?
You said 75 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much time left?
Hour and 5 minutes. It took a while for me to get up the pressure.
Oh, okay.
And I got to hit pressure before I start my time, right?
Yeah.
Well,
what's the weirdest thing you've canned? I guess the weirdest thing in other people's eyes would say I can milk.
You can milk.
Yeah.
You can milk. What?
Yeah.
You just use regular milk?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I did a video of it, me drinking it.
So I can buy milk and I can can it myself, and it is stay good.
Yeah.
Because we throw milk out all the time.
Now, I mean, it changes.
We probably throw 2 to 3 gallons of milk out a month.
Like you can look on YouTube and find probably 15 different ways to can milk the way I do it. And I've got milk down there that's it's 2 years old. It's just regular homogenized milk from the store. You just put it in the jars, put it in your canner, turn the temperature up. When it gets to pressure, turn the canner off and let it come back down to 0 slowly, and it's canned. And now what it does is it condenses it. What's it called? I get the two confused. There's condensed milk and there's
homogenized milk.
Evaporated and
condensed. Yeah. So now it tastes like if you open the jar, like I just did it the other day or months ago when I made the video. When I opened the quart jar, you can drink it right out of the jar and it tastes just like evaporated condensed milk. It's like super sweet, which is perfect for cooking. Like I make my mashed potatoes, grits, things like that, like gravies and stuff. Like when I make my country gravy and sausage gravy for biscuits, I use that. But if you want to drink it, all you got to do is mix it with water and stir it up. It brings it back. It doesn't taste just like the milk, but it is milk.
Just a little bit of water?
You can add water to your taste, how you like it. It's still going to be sweet. It's still going to taste a little bit different, but it's still milk. I mean, it's the way they drink milk in South America. They don't have regular homogenized. All their milk's canned.
So as for the time with canning the milk, if you only wanted to try, like a can or two just to see how it comes out, what would you can it with if you could can it with something?
Nothing. There's nothing else to do this. Because you're really not bringing it. You're not cooking it for any extended period of time. Like the longer you cook it at pressure, the more condensed and sweeter it's going to get. So I put it in there. I bring it up to 10 psi. Once it starts chirping, turn it off. Turn the heat off, and I let it sit there, and it comes back to temperature naturally. And all the jars seal. They're perfectly fine, and it's really good for baking. Anything that requires milk in a recipe, especially baking, this stuff is perfect for it. But it makes the best macaroni and cheese, and it makes the best mashed potatoes there are.
Gosh. You're just giving me more ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Last year, last April or March when we started going through the lockdown, I was fortunate. I bought a bunch of powdered milk before everybody else did, and I got a whole bunch of it. And it doesn't taste that great, but I found out if you add some vanilla to it, it kind of tastes a little bit like almond milk a little bit, right? So we bought a bunch of vanilla. But you just told me that, I'm going, well, that's another option. You know what I mean? I like to have options. I like to, I just don't want to have just powdered milk. Now I can make my own canned milk.
Oh, yeah.
The reason I did it was because of the lockdowns last year when they started, because I had a bunch of powdered milk, and I was like, well, I'm going to can it. And I went out and I don't remember how many gallons of milk I got. Came home and canned it up, and it's perfect for, like I said, anything baking, anything that you might want to get a little bit sweet, like your macaroni and cheese, your mashed potatoes is perfect. But here's the cool part: when you bring it back to life and you mix it with a little bit of water, just add a little bit of chocolate syrup to it to make chocolate milk, because it kind of the chocolatey flavor to it, or even the strawberry, if you want to put a little bit of strawberry flavoring in there to it, or even vanilla, it kind of disguises the super sweetness of it.
Yeah, well, I was already going to add vanilla to the powdered milk anyway.
Yeah. And it's never going to taste like perfect homogenized milk. No, it's going through a canning process. The flavor's going to change and the texture's going to change, but it's edible.
What's the shelf life on that? Same?
I've got stuff down there going on 2 years. As long as you keep it out of the light, as long as no sunlight hits it whatsoever, and it stays at relative room at a stable temperature, I don't know how long it'll last.
Mm-hmm.
Will 2 quart jars fit in these canners, these Prestos, you think, or no?
In a quart jar?
2 quart.
No, I don't think so. Now I know the cool part. Here's the best part: 1 gallon of milk will fill up 4 quarts. Okay. Mm-hmm. And when you in the canning process, you don't lose any volume. So when you're adding water to it to bring it back to life, you're actually gaining fluid.
I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got several jars of it downstairs.
Yeah, because we buy a gallon of milk all the time, and no lie, we had a gallon in the refrigerator, and then I got another refrigerator in the garage. 2 full gallons of milk. Nobody even opened them. Right?
Now you can also freeze milk.
You can freeze. Yeah, but I don't want to waste the room on my freezer, right?
Yeah. I froze a bunch of gallons. Now it changes the flavor when you thaw it out. It does change the flavor.
See, I love this. I really love this because my uncle comes over and brings me stuff every week. And, I never know what he's bringing, but usually the staple, steady stuff that he's brings is like milk. And we always have extra milk. Yeah. And so that's like, I'm going to try that.
Can it and use it all and use it for all your baking, especially. I'm telling you right now, my favorite thing to use the canned milk for is macaroni and cheese. Ugh, it's awesome. Making homemade macaroni and cheese with canned milk is delicious.
I'm going to try that.
It's awesome. And it's good for that. And it's really, really, really good for your sausage gravy to go on your biscuits. Oh.
You just keep giving me breath. I'm going to try all this stuff. I'm going to write it all in my journal. Thank you, Prepper 101, for that question.
Yeah, it's whatever you can do to save room in your freezer. So I got 3 freezers, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to inventory what I got probably tomorrow, right? I'm not going to go shopping tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first of the month, so all the stores will be busy. But Monday I'll go down and I'll stock up on meat, right? No matter what it costs, I'll stock up on it. But
right,
my next trip Monday, I'll be canning some of it, so I'll save some space in my freezer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be more wise this time. Last year, we had 3 freezers, but you buy a bunch of crap you don't eat, or you buy stuff that goes in boxes that you got to keep them in the box because it tells you how to cook it and all that crap.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm going to forego that. I'm going to stick to meats this time. And
right. Yeah. And even if you cook stuff, like sometimes we cook big things of, like, let's say enchiladas or something, and we have some left over, and we do the Italian thing, and we have a big pan, and, we want to freeze some of that. But sometimes, so we need that extra room in the freezer for a couple of those things. And I would like to put the rest of the stuff, in the cans, in canning. And I really love this. This is just, I love it.
Stanley Laddie, I have no idea if you can can buttermilk or not. I don't know. I've never even drank buttermilk, so I have no clue.
The only thing I had is like buttermilk biscuits.
Yeah, usually we on Thanksgiving, I usually buy 2 turkeys, one for Thanksgiving, and then I freeze another one for any time because I like turkey any time of the year. But we didn't have no room. I couldn't even put nothing in the freezer last Thanksgiving. Everything was packed.
Yeah, I usually come the fall, I usually go to the turkey shoot, several times and try to win a few turkeys and a few hams, and then we eat them at the holidays, and whatever's left, I'll pull out the freezer and cook it and can it.
Debbie, you talking about you never add water to the milk? Is it still pretty have a good taste to it?
It's drinkable. I mean, it's sweet. I mean, if you have a jar of condensed milk or in your cabinet, open it up and drink it. I mean, that's what it tastes like. It's just something that we're not used to, that flavor here in the States, drinking it, but like places in South America and stuff, that's what they put on their cereal. So it's doable. Just you gotta get used to it. But milk's a staple. I love milk. You're gonna use it in cooking and things like that. So I just wanted to figure a way to put it up.
Now, right. It's on my list to get, and it's been on my list to get for a while, for well over a year, even before all this crap happened. Canned butter. Right? You can buy it. Can we buy butter, can it, and do the same thing?
Yeah, we just did it. We did that video.
We did ghee. Yeah, we did ghee. And it's one of my favorite things to do. I love the ghee.
We canned it live.
That's right. I forgot.
It was pretty popular.
Yeah, mine came out a lot like Ghost Ski did. I think we both browned it just a little longer than yeah.
I cooked mine on purpose to give it more of a nutty flavor to it.
Right.
But next time I'm gonna do unsalted butter, and I'm not gonna overdo it, and just see what the difference is, the flavor wise, what the difference is. But I mean, it turned out great. I mean, that's a shelf life of forever.
Yeah, Virginia, you can go back and look at that. And Virginia Roots, she did awesome. Hers was like so perfect, golden color.
Yeah, didn't Klingon Princess get on
really pretty still too, like all fantastic. And actually, all this stuff right here is what we've canned together. I did some of it on my own, but it's my zucchini, the beans, the bacon. This is all just from this show, basically, you know. A couple of things I did on my own.
The bacon.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of that canned bacon either.
Here's a good one. Well, what would you recommend to try canning for the first timer? I would try for the first time. I would try something that you like. I would try also something that is kind of easy. Like the first thing I ever canned was beans. Just I eat beans. I love beans. I'm a rice bean kind of guy. I grew up eating rice and beans. So, you know, it's messed up, or it's good for me, but, you know, the first few things all preppers get when they're building their food supplies, rice and beans, and I'm like happy. They're pissed. It's like, oh, it's rice and beans. I can't rice and beans every day. I grew up that way. So pick something you like, get used to the canner, get used to the process, and then just start experimenting.
Yeah, I did beans for the first time here, rural. It's super easy. I think it's probably one of the easiest things to do. And they come out awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Beans, chicken is real easy. Hamburger meat.
That's one of the things my husband loves too, is those beans. I really want to do the ham and beans too.
Yeah,
What
did you vote for?
I don't even remember what I voted for. I honestly don't. I just know it was not the stew or soup or whatever was on there. I just know it wasn't that one. Soup or something. I don't know.
Beans and ham.
Is that what it was?
It was ham and beans, sloppy Joe or manwich, patties, and I think vegetable beef soup.
Okay, I just remember that I did not vote for the vegetable beef stew because I already did, because we had done stew or something.
Right.
And that's the only reason why I voted for something else, but I don't even remember which one I voted for. I think it was because I had a hard time and then I just picked one, so I don't remember which one I actually voted for.
I know I need to do more chow chow, more jelly. But I don't know if I'll do the live stream on the chow chow, because a lot of people don't even know what it is. How much time you got left, Virginia?
40 minutes.
Yeah, you're on your second batch, right? She's on like her second batch, you know.
I got 50 minutes.
You got 50?
Yeah.
So yours takes a little longer to come up than 101.
Yeah.
Yeah, his is taller. The bigger the larger the container, it's going to take more time to bring it up to count, and the more stuff you have in it.
I'm the milkmaid. I'm the milkmaid for this episode. I'm going to be the
Canning beans and long-term storage. Yeah, I had man, I don't know how many jars I had vacuum sealed long-term storage, and I'm like, what a waste of a perfectly good canning jar to vacuum seal. Vacuum seal in Mylar bags. Use your jars for food that you can open it and eat it. So I went through and I pulled all those beans out and I cooked them and I said, to me, that's the best use of a item. I mean, I don't, and I know a lot of people do vacuum seal in their mason jars, and that's perfectly fine. That's what I want to do fine. But everything that's in all of my jars, I can open it right there. I don't have to carry it. I don't have to do any cooking. But I do have a lot of stuff vacuum sealed in Mylar, long-term stuff. But that's backup. Yeah, hamburger's a good one to start with. But I just love doing chicken because you get so much extra with it. I think I did like 30 something pounds, 30 or 35 pounds of chicken. And then from that, all the bones, skin, and everything, and the vegetables that I put in the water with it, when I simmered it for hours and hours and hours, I got 16 quarts of the most beautiful chicken bone broth you will ever lay your eyes on. I mean, it's so dark and rich gold. That's what I my beans and stuff.
It did. That stuff looked really good. I remember you showing it. It was really good. It looked really good.
Oh, it is. You can heat it up and just drink it. I mean, it's like, delicious. I did a big old pot of Brunswick food, canned it all up, canned a whole bunch of pulled pork. I canned pork tenderloins.
Really? I have a tenderloin that I don't know what to do with.
Huh? I just sliced it, canned it. It's jar downstairs. Actually, there's 4 of them down there.
Did you cook it first? Okay.
I don't know. Wait a minute. No, I didn't. I didn't cook it first. Or did I? Can't remember, but I don't think I did.
So, do you guys want to see my nerdy kitchen project?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, I've got a thrift store project that I'm totally in love with. So, those candle holders that you can put glass in? So, I hung it in the kitchen and I filled it all with culinary herbs that I grew. I grew all of them from seed except for the oregano. So, this is all, there we go. This is all herbs that you can eat that I actually grew. So this is oregano, this is mint, this is thyme, this is sage, this is basil, this is onion, and up here is parsley. And they're never going to get big enough to where I can pick them and cook with them, but they look really cool. And because they're edible and kitchen herbs, then anyone who wants to do that idea, man, go get those candle holders and just put little herbs in it. And it's so much fun.
Nice. Good idea. Stanley asked if we're going to do any water bath canning. Yes, we are. Because that's how you do your jellies and the chow chow, which I think people call that chutney. I call it chow chow. But yeah, that's how we water bath those. And Virginia, what you should do on that wall, man, here's an idea, is set you up a hydroponic system right there.
Yeah.
Then you can grow them big enough to really eat them. And know how you do
that.
Yeah. I'm thinking about doing one here in my kitchen.
Oh, dude, please do it. Yeah, and you can tell how to run the water through it. We would need to have some kind of a pump or something.
Yeah, you can go to Walmart and get those, or Home Depot. It's like a little big tank pump. They're only like 10 or 12 bucks. That's all you need. Literally, that's all you need. It'll work just fine. I'm going to do that this winter. That's what I'm going to do. My all my lettuces and stuff for the rabbits. I'm probably going to do them hydroponically in the basement, and I've got some grow lights, and just obviously they're not going to grow as big as they would in the sunlight, but they'll be big enough to feed the rabbits for free. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's not for free. You're growing it." No, technically, I mean, come on. What I pay 50 cents for a bag of seeds, got like 1,000 lettuce seeds in it. Yeah, I'm not even counting it. It's free. Versus putting them on the grass. I'll just grow collards year round for the rabbits. So let me tell you something. I think that's one of the reasons why Za's babies are so big and so fat and happy is I was giving her one, if not two, collard leaves off the collard plant every day for like the last 2 weeks before she had the baby. And man, she would see me coming with that collard leaf in my hands, and she would be running all over the cage. And I would put it in there. And she was eating it before I'd let go of it, every single day. And she just went nuts over the collards. She loved them.
In Virginia?
Yeah.
I really loved that. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Was really cool.
They're just little candle holders, so I just take them out of that little frame and take them right over and just water them.
Mm-hmm.
The roots don't have the opportunity to make really nice, good size herbs, so they're only ever going to be decorative.
Right.
But smells good too.
Y'all want to see my project I'm working on?
Yes.
All right, let me mute this computer, and I'm going to turn my phone back on, and I'll take you downstairs and show you. Oh
no.
Lost somebody.
We lost 101.
I'll wait till he comes back.
Okay.
Because I'll have to be downstairs, and I won't be able to let him back in.
Yeah, I love to see everybody's projects.
Mine's a disaster right now, but it's coming together. Basically, it's shelving. I'm actually going to do a video on it. That's why I stopped. I want to do a video and show people the best way to build shelves. Well, not the best way, the way I build shelves. It's like a really good way to do it. One.
Oh, I hope his device didn't die.
I know, right?
Hopefully he'll come back.
He can see us if his device didn't die. I can still do the basement before. All right, I'm gonna pull there he is.
Yay.
There he is.
We missed you.
I'm gonna mute this camera, and then I'm gonna turn my phone on, and I'm gonna show you guys my shelving project.
Okay.
I closed the wrong screen.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there an echo? I hope not.
No, you're fine.
Cool. All right. Nope. So this is the food storage area, or one of the food storage areas in my basement. Shit. All right. So I'm redoing all the shelving, and they'll be shelving all along this wall, all down this way. These metal shelves I'm gonna move over here in front of the steps. But these shelves were built like in the 60s. I mean, that's how old this wood is. These are actual real 2x4s, these ancient things here. But people, when they build shelves, they'll do legs like this in the back and in the front. Why? It's a concrete wall. All you do is get some tap cons and you secure these little bad boys here to the wall, and your shelf just lays on that. This ain't going nowhere. You don't need to have an extra 2x4 here in the back. But the easiest way to do it is you mount these on the wall first. Okay. Then you take another set, this, and you screw it directly on the front of this. Then you take your legs and you screw it to the cleats. Then it'll be in the video. It's hard to explain, but these are going to run all the way around. So this whole section of the basement here will be full of food. Like all this.
Does it stay the same temperature in there all year long in that basement?
It varies about 3 degrees. That's it. But it pretty much stays. It pretty much stays in the mid. In the winter, it gets down probably maybe 64. In the summertime, it might get up to like 60, 66, 68.
Well, it's a good temperature to store food, MREs, canned food, dried food.
You're gonna have a lot of nice shelving space.
Okay, we back?
Yep. So that keeps the perfect temperature range to store
Yeah.
food, right?
Oh yeah. Plus the other half of the basement, it's on the back side of the other concrete wall is all dirt. So that's my root cellar. It's even cooler over there. But yeah, it keeps everything Klingon was saying here. Yeah, you ain't got to worry about being level. You just level the cleats on the back wall, put another set of cleats onto it. Then you screw the legs onto that. Then all you do is unscrew the cleats, and boom, tying it's everything's perfectly level. It's really sturdy. It doesn't go anywhere. It's really, really hardcore shelving. And the thing is, all that I built down there, I haven't had to buy any wood yet. That was all wood from the 2 small shelves that were built incorrectly because they used twice as many. They used twice as many 2x4s as they needed. So I just tore everything apart and then repurposed it. What about the light? Light for what? In the basement? The light on that side is dim purposely because I don't want any light on that side of the basement. I've got the windows blacked out. No sunlight gets in. Very little ambient light. You don't want temperature variations, and you don't want sunlight of any kind hitting your canned food. That's what depletes the nutrition.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, canning food's a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. I'm like the angry prepper. I thought, oh man, I'm gonna have to go get a BS degree and go to some college or go to some.
The one thing about canning food, the only good part of it is if you're just canning by yourself, it can be quite boring because you're just sitting around waiting on the stuff to. But that's one of the cool reasons why we decided to do it live was because if we're all doing it live, then we're not bored in the kitchen just waiting on the timer to go off. We're like chatting and doing it together. Yeah, Stanley, I'm gonna do a video of the actual shelving build on the last section on the right hand side. Hopefully, I'll get to it this week, and it'll be like a step-by-step instructional video. And it's like, to me, it's the coolest, easiest, quickest way to build shelves you'll ever do in your life. Okay, if you had to go in the basement, you could use blackout curtains in front of the shelf. True, Klingon, but what I've got, when I went down the steps and turned to the left on the food storage area, if I turn to the right, my basement is twice the size of the food storage area on the other side, and it has its own windows. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a wall and put up a door in front of the food storage area where it's completely blocked off. And then I'll have the grow lights and everything on the other side.
You got solar there?
Sorry?
Do you use solar?
No, I have a solar generator, which is pretty much solar. I mean, I can just hook up my panels, run it to the generator, and run it straight to the lights in the basement, and they'll run like literally forever.
Yeah, I got solar on my roof. I don't have an electric bill. So
nice.
They actually owe me money once a year. They give you a credit. They don't actually give you money. They give you a credit every year.
Right.
The only thing is I don't have a battery backup, so if power goes down, my solar shuts off. But
right.
I'm looking at getting if we end up staying here too much longer, we don't move out of the state, I'll end up getting some battery systems in here. That way, if the grid goes down, it'll switch off a switch to the main power to the electric company, and then I stay on solar.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got my solar generator and I've got my gas generator. But I can't do solar here on my house because of the trees. I mean, I'm like wooded, which was like one of the reasons why I got this place. Is because, it was like almost 100 degrees outside today, but not in my house. Honestly, and I promised you guys last month, it was one of the hottest months. So far, it's been the hottest month here in North Carolina. June, yeah. My power bill the only thing in my house that runs on natural gas is my heating and air. It was $17. Costed $17 for the AC in my house last month in summer, which is awesome. It's all shaded.
Yeah, it used to cost me before I got solar about $500 a month.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Now it's free.
Plus, I just moved back up from Florida, and we were used to keeping the thermostat at like 76, 77, 78 down there. I mean, that's cool when it's 105 degrees outside. You know what I mean? 78 feels great in Florida. Up here, it still feels good to me for the house to be 75 degrees. Because I'm used to walking outside and getting smacked in the face with, 105-degree temperature. So it's just really, it's very comfortable here.
Yeah, we leave ours. Ours is set. We stay 76 all year round. Winter, summer, 76.
I think ours is set at 78, 77, something like that. Hoping to get a root cellar built. There you go. And if you want to do a quick, fast one before doing the digging, all you got to do is get you a couple of galvanized trash cans, dig a hole and bury them, and just, have the lid right at surface level, because you only have to go down a couple of feet to get what you need.
Oh, we have that. We should do that.
Yeah. There's actually a couple of really cool videos on YouTube of a guy doing this root cellar using galvanized trash cans. He's got several of them buried in the backyard. They work great.
How much time you got, Susanna?
Oh, I already.
Yeah, she should be done.
You're
Yeah.
done?
I'm just waiting for it to come down.
Yeah, because I got 2 minutes left. Yeah, I built those shelves like I just showed you guys. I built ones just like that in Florida at my house before I sold it. And the only thing I had to buy was the 2x4s. The actual shelving, I didn't use plywood, because right around the corner from my house, there was an AC company and they were giving away pallets. So I went and got like 15 or 20 oak pallets, and I just cut the pallets up and just laid them in as shelving. And you want to talk about sturdy.
Wow.
Yeah, so hopefully once I get the basement done, it'll be, one half will be the root cellar, and the other, I'm thinking about even just making like a little man cave workshop area down there, and moving all the food onto the root cellar side. I have to go in there and dig out a lot of dirt, but I could level it out, dig it out, and just move all the shelving over there and just storing all the food.
Your floor is dirt in the basement?
One half's finished, one half is just dirt.
Well, that works out good.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally dirt 5 feet tall. Like if I go through the doorway, there's dirt up to my chest, but there's a path dug into it. It's pretty cool.
I hope there's not bodies buried underneath the cement.
I know, right?
Jeffrey Dahmer didn't live there, right?
Yeah, but I mean, that's one of the reasons obviously we jumped on this house, is because I planned on building a storm shelter / root cellar bunker, whatever you want to call it, because in the tornado areas, FEMA gives a grant, $2,500 grant, if you build a storm shelter, and they also offer a $2,500 tax deduction on your homeowner's something or other. So basically, you're getting $5,000 for free, and you can build one for about $2,500. But when I found this place, I'm like, whoa, we got water, got a root cellar, got a basement. Yeah. Checked a whole bunch of boxes. So we jumped on it. Plus the house was just finished being remodeled. So.
It's getting pretty hot in some places lately.
How much time you got, Susanna?
I'm letting I'm just waiting for it to come down.
Ooh, yes. We'll get to see it. I've got 15 minutes.
Okay.
I got 29.
29.
That's not bad. 15 and 29.
I stand a really good chance of not finishing last today.
101 is taking the milkmaid's place. He's gonna have to.
Milkmaid, man.
Yeah. He'll have to update
Yep.
Tuesday when he can open it.
Yeah, Tuesday.
So I was thinking about getting a male cream d'argent to go with those 2 female creams that I have, rabbit. But those little bastards aggravate. Like, they have attitudes. Like, when I put, it's hilarious. Like, when I put like celery or lettuce or anything in there for them to eat, like watermelons and cantaloupes. When we cut those up, I freeze the rinds, so I give them like frozen watermelon and frozen cantaloupe rinds to eat on the pot, and they love it. But I'll go to put it down in the cage, and those little rabbits, man, they'll come over there and they'll hit my hand with their head and push my hand out of the way, like literally move me out of the way. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm like, plus they're not growing as fast as the other ones that I have, so I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I don't know. And I mean, their coats are gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, but they're just one color. I mean, look at all those pretty colors that Zoff, kicked out for that first batch. That's crazy. I mean, 3 of them are solid black. 3 of them look just like Tribe, and 3 of them are the light color gray, just like her. So I may just kind of stick with that because I mean, you get all kind of crazy colors out of a New Zealand. Terry Lee, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just amazed at all the things everybody does. And I guess I do too, but I just do different things. Like, I can't garden this year, so I've been doing like some quilting and stuff and, whatever just other things that I can do.
Yeah.
It's been in the hundreds, or well, not hundreds. It's been in the 90s here.
Yeah, same thing here. Where are you at, Susanna?
Colorado.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty hot for you guys.
Yeah.
In Colorado, get pretty hot.
Mm-hmm. There's a few days it's gone down. Well, today it was better. It was in the 70s. But even I was sweating there for a while.
It's been in the 80s, high 90s here for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Up and down, up and down, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
7 p.m. here, and it's 103 degrees.
Wow.
Supposed to be 105 through next Wednesday.
Hot.
Yeah, Sherry, we were just talking about that earlier. When we first started the show, we talked about the rabbits. I was talking about how I've decided I'm not going to put the rabbits on the ground. I'm not going to tractor them because here where I live in the woods in North Carolina, we have so many wild rabbits running around. It's crazy. Like, I can open my door right now and turn on my floodlight and I can probably see 3 running all over the place. And the wild cottontails are, they have a lot of bad diseases, and I don't want to bring those diseases into the rabbitry. So I'm building them bigger cages. They're going to have massive grow out cages, but they're going to be up off the ground so they're not exposed to any of that disease. And I'm just going to feed them really good and keep them as happy as I possibly can until it's time to feed them. So it's going to cost me a little bit more in materials to build it out and up off the ground. But number one, I want to keep them safe and away from predators. And number two, I don't want to have any sick rabbits. So I'm going to keep them away from the ground. But I was kind of looking forward to having a free grass cutting service, but I don't want to do that. Stanley 101's in Cali.
Sorry,
Yeah,
my
and-
kid was loud. Hold on.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
Seems so loud. Sorry,
It's
Susanna.
It's not really loud.
Okay. You're fine.
Now, so what I'm doing is I redesigned the cages. I spent some time on the computer last night, and over the last 3 or 4 days, redoing the cages. And I have I have 2 cages built right now. Each one of them holds 6 rabbits. Each section of cages is actually 6 separate cages. So what I'm going to do is for each section of 6, I'm building another section the same size, but they're only going to have 3 cages in it. So they're going to have twice the amount of room to run around.
Right.
And I can bust up males to females and keep them separate. And it's going to probably change several times until I get it dialed in right. But I'll just spend a few $100 on some really good high quality metal cages, get them up off the ground, build a little barn for them to be into, and just so they don't get, because what happens is the wild rabbits, they come in your yard, they eat your stuff, and they poop all over the ground, and then grass grows, and then, I don't want, my meat rabbits eating, grass that's been fertilized by, rabbits that carry disease. That would be bad. And plus, it'll also hopefully, keep the ticks and the ear mites and all that. Hopefully, by not being exposed to the ground, being wet and all that stuff, it should keep a lot of the insects down.
Right.
We'll see. I'm gonna have to change it up a little bit. I don't plan on tractoring them. I actually even thought about building a raised bed of different of maybe some barley or some wheat hay or wheatgrass, and just going through there with some hedge clippers and chopping off a bunch each day and bringing them fresh grass.
Mm-hmm.
But the wild rabbits can still get at that too. So I'm just going to fence my garden in, and I'm just going to grow them lettuce and collards year round and just feed them all natural.
You're doing a lot of work with them.
Yeah, I'm trying to dial it in so it works really good. So hopefully it will. How old will you separate mama babies? It's look. Here's the thing. In the wild, she's already left them. I mean, they're almost 3 weeks old in the wild. In the wild, naturally, she's already left them, and she's already probably building a nest for her next batch. A lot of people in rabbitries, they wean them at 6, 7 weeks old. I plan on weaning mine at between 4 and 5 weeks. No later than 5 weeks. That way, Zah will have a week to herself to just chill before her next batch of babies come in. But the way I'm setting the cages up, their weaning cage, their pre-weaning cage is going to be right next to mama, where they can still see her and touch noses through the fence and everything. I thought it was important to keep them close. I'm starting to think not, because let me tell you something. Rabbits are assholes. Okay. Like she had the babies. She covered them up. She goes in there to feed them twice a day, right before the sun comes up and after the sun goes down. She don't want to have shit to do with them babies. When they're jumping up out of the nest box, up chasing around the cage, she's like, get away from me. She don't have nothing to do with them. She don't feed them. If it's not feeding time, she'll kick them off her boob. If she hops up on the cooling platform and she tries to keep them away from them, she runs from them literally most of the day, trying to stay away from them. There is no mommy, baby, bunny love going on at all. Because in the wild, she has them. When they're up and moving, when they come out of the nest, she's gone. She abandons them. She leaves them. And it's a trip. I mean, there's no, so I don't even know I'll need to wean them close to mama, because they don't care. I mean, she doesn't care. She legitimately does not. What I'll do is she has 9 babies. On week 4, I'll probably take the 3 biggest ones and put them in a separate cage, the black ones, because they've run around like they're on their own. I mean, they're eating solid food and everything, drinking water out of the water bowl. They basically already weaned themselves. And then every day I'll just pull one more rabbit away from mom so her milk can dry up. And I'll leave the smallest one in there the longest so it can catch up size-wise. But yeah, like she's pretty much weaning them now. I mean, she's still feeding them milk at night and in the morning. But yeah, it's a trip, man. It ain't like with dogs, where the mama lays there and the dogs are all over them and they're all happy. She don't want nothing to do with that. She's a great mom. But all rabbits are that way. from what I can tell. It's a trip.
Sounds like rabbits don't believe in socialism.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, and you know, I bred her 2 weeks after she gave birth, which is normal. In the wild, sometimes they breed the exact same. I was doing some research on this. Rabbits, the day they give birth, they go into an intense heat cycle for 72 hours, where they legit go out and try. The mama goes out and tries to get pregnant as soon as she has babies. That's the way they do it in the wild. Yeah, it's a trip. So I chose to wait 2 weeks and bred it 2 weeks after. That way there's a 6 week separation, so I get plenty of time to wean the baby. But yeah, it's a trip. And it was funny because I even read stuff about how rabbits, especially female rabbits, they're healthier when they're constantly breeding. They're a healthier rabbit. And it's funny because as soon as she got pregnant, as soon as I bred her to tribe, I'd say halfway through it, within 2 weeks, like her entire demeanor changed, bulked up, like she was just happy. Like before, she was sick. I got her pregnant. She's like, nice. I go out there, I open the cage, she comes up, wants to be petted. She does her head down for me to scratch behind the ears. She's just like, happy. But when she wasn't pregnant, she's a bitch. Like, I didn't like her. I honestly, I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm going to like, for real. If she got pregnant, she's like a completely different rabbit. So I'm going to roll with it and see what happens.
Yeah, I had no idea they were so standoffish as parents.
No idea. Nothing to do with them kids. Baby rabbits are like the Snickers bar of the wild. I mean, that's what they have for me. That's why they breed so much.
Yeah.
Like they breed them as soon as they're moving around, and mom's tired of milking them, especially if she got pregnant. You know, as soon as she had them, like they do in the wild. In the wild, they're weaned within 4 weeks because mama's got another litter.
Right.
Goes another nest. They're on their own. Some make it, some don't. You know.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, I plan on between 4 and 5 weeks, you know, completely. But that's why I started, like, as soon as they were up moving around, I put a little dish of pellets in there for them to get to, and I put water they can reach. I feed mama lettuce, celery and stuff. I put it there by the babies, and they immediately went after it. So they're already eating solid food. So they're already feeding themselves.
Huh. Crazy. Is there anything they can't eat?
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they can't eat.
Oh, okay.
Like can't feed them, you know, tomato leaves, anything off tomatoes. I mean, the leaves are poison. But there's a lot of stuff they can't. Like they'll eat carrots. Like I freeze carrots and I give them frozen carrots in the heat of the day. Number one of the tools, like ice cream. They'll eat carrots, but they would rather have the carrot tops. A lot of people think rabbits love carrots. No, because in the wild they can't get the carrot berries. They eat the carrot top. Like they love lettuce, and they absolutely love collard greens. Now I'm doing spinach, kale, and Swiss chard because those are all like really, really good, and they're full of vitamins and stuff. So it help them produce a lot of milk and make a lot of fat babies.
Right.
So, I mean, honestly, rabbit food, a 50-pound bag costs like $15 to $18. But if I can just grow a whole bunch of deep lettuce, collards, celery, and cabbage, and kale, and feed them that, it doesn't cost me anything other than a little bit of water, you know, and they're going to be healthier. I mean, I'm still going to give them pellets for the protein and stuff, but yeah.
TJ, I have 1 minute. We're in the last 60 seconds, and then I can turn this off, and it won't be so loud, and I'll get out of the kitchen.
Yeah, there's no such thing as sweet bunny love. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ruin that. Yeah. And they pop them babies out, and they're done. It's like, it's a trip. I mean, I thought that, like every now and then, you'll see them, like, touch noses and stuff, but usually she'll just lay out on the cage and completely ignore them. They'll jump all over and run around, and she'll get pissed off, and she'll get up and move. Yeah, she was living life when they were too small to get out of the nest. Now they're up out of the nest box. She's like, what in the hell? Like, she literally got agitated. I was sitting there watching when they started jumping out of the nest box and trying to get to her, and she was like, what in the hell's going on? You know, you're grounded, go back to your room kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, out at work, we're out in the middle of nowhere, and it's you get like drought years like this year. I've seen rabbits, squirrels, chipmunks. They don't have enough food. They become cannibals and they'll eat each other. You see another squirrel eating another squirrel and go, oh, okay. You just got a little medieval out here, man.
The mama rabbits will sometimes eat the baby rabbits if they're real sickly or if they die right after birth. Sometimes they'll eat them unintentionally because when they have them, they clean them off. And lots of times they get really aggressive cleaning them off and they eat them.
That is crazy. They'll get hungry enough to eat their children.
They'll eat the whole litter.
Oh my goodness.
Like there's actually people on YouTube that I follow that have rabbits and they'll tell stories of how, they're like, this mama's going into the stew pot because she just killed her second litter. And they're talking about they came outside and saw her legitimately devouring the babies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they go straight cannibal. Once they get a taste for blood, then they just go straight cannibal. Because, it's very nutritious. Rabbits want protein. And the first time they get the munching, if you got a mama rabbit and she eats one of her young, don't breed her anymore because she's going to do it again.
Right.
It's kind of like a pig. Once they get a taste for blood, man, if you want to see an animal go nuts, watch a pig go after fresh blood. Pigs are crazy. I remember as a kid watching, we were fixing to have a pig picking. We had three pigs in the pen, throwing them out, and my uncle went over there and shot one right in the forehead with a 9mm pistol, and it ricocheted off the skull. Yeah. So next time he ricocheted off the skull, the pig ran around, blood's just spurting everywhere. The other two pigs went absolutely nuts. Everywhere there was blood on the ground, they were digging for China. It was crazy. Yeah, hogs and at least the ones we had were crazy. Yeah, Zah, like the day she had those babies, I stuck my hand in the cage and pulled them out, checked on all 9 of them. And every day I did that. Even today, I pull every single one of them out, check them out real good, and put them back. She ain't never once even. She looked at me like, whatever. She is the most non-aggressive female rabbit. This is my first rabbit breeding ever. But I've heard the horror stories and seen some of the horror stories and seen the videos on YouTube of people reaching their hand into to get to the babies and the mama biting the shit out of them. And I'm like, Zah's just like, whatever. So that's why I'm going to keep some of hers, and that's where my breeding stock's coming from, because that's some good genetics right there.
Wow.
Yeah, Hoot. And from what I've heard, if it happens once, get rid of that rabbit. Everything I've heard of is once they do it one time, it's just so easy for them to do it again and again and over. And that's just not the kind of genes you want to have in your gene pool.
That's just so interesting to learn about that stuff.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I'm still learning about them. I just think it's really cool how, like, because I wasn't even thinking about the temperature when I bred her the first time. I was just so excited that it was time to breed and I wanted to do it, and it was just like I saw on YouTube. And then I'm looking at the calendar. I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna have birth in the middle of July, the hottest time of the year. All these babies are gonna die. And the night before she had those babies, I was freaking out. I'm like, man, I'm doing the YouTube thing. Everybody knows they got babies coming. If all these babies die, I'm going to be pissed. I'm like, shit, I got to keep them cool. How am I going to do that? I can't just bring them inside and take them back and forth every day because that's going to shock their system. And I was like, I was up to the point where I was going to bring my air conditioner, my wall air conditioner, outside and sit it in front of the cages and hook it up to my solar generator and just have them air condition the backyard for a few weeks.
Oh.
Like I was seriously going to do it.
Yeah. But
then I got to thinking, I'm like, man, how can everybody's like, well, put the water bottles in there. And I did that. Well, they chew through the water bottles. And then, they literally bite a hole in it within the first few minutes. And then, so it's every day you're having to get new water bottles. I can't drink that much water. I'm like, what I'm going to do, I'm like, man, if I could just wrap these bottles in something where they couldn't chew through it, then it'd be great. And I got to thinking, wait a minute, if I wrap it and I put it underneath that tile, wait a minute, if I put it underneath the tile and then I put a cooler around it of styrofoam to where the only cold air goes up into the tile, man, that might last for a while. So I built one. And the next morning, I put it out there for her and the babies, and cut a hole in the bottom so it would air condition the nest box, and it worked like nobody's business. Now I don't know if I can attribute that to saving the lives of the rabbits, or if they were going to be fine anyway, because these rabbits were bred for hot temperatures. But I think it helped.
Yeah,
so
no doubt.
I'm gonna keep pushing, and I'm gonna build some really nice ones when I get the cages set up, because I got to go get some lumber now that the price of the wood have come down, and build me a little pole barn out there for them, and with a good roof, and then I'm gonna hang them too high. I'll have 2 rows of cages, like one above the other one, and then I'll have 4 all together. I'll have 2 cages for the mamas and 2 cages for the grow outs, and then I'm gonna have 2 completely separate cages for the bucks, away from the females completely.
Right.
And then I'm gonna run water and power out there. And then I got to build a processing station where I can dispatch the rabbits and skin them and clean them and all that good stuff.
Right.
Hello, Bella.
Hi, Bella.
Hey, Bella, what's going on?
I'm not sure. Hello, anyone I missed coming in. I know we were getting caught up in talking up here.
Hey, Monty's in there. Charlie Marcus, hello. Yeah, sometimes when I get started talking, especially with you guys, I'll just completely like zone out and not even watch the chat, and I get so far behind.
Moonchild, I didn't know you were here. Hello.
Yeah, she's been here a while.
Well, I can't see as much in the kitchen. I took the laptop out of the kitchen because it was so hot. Just telling you what, man. It's hot. Yeah, I didn't see everyone that came in, but I'm so glad to see all of you. Debbie, hello. Oh, that's a good question, Debbie.
Shirley goes, do you think that the cold tile thing would work for small dogs and cats in a non-AC home? Absolutely. Definitely. 100%. I mean, I'm here to tell you, there's a couple days ago when I went outside, I actually did it when I did the garden video update. It was like 95 degrees outside, and I go out there to the cages about the rabbits, and she's not even on the cooling tower. She's sitting over on the wire. And I'm like, but she wasn't panting. She was just chilling, and it's hot. And I reached up and I'm looking at the cooling tower, and you can see moisture on top of it. That's how cold it was. It was condensing the air. And I put my hand on top of it, and she got off of it because it was too damn cold. Like now she's got to where she'll like lay beside it, where she can still feel the cold air. But it was legit. Like she got up there, and it was just too damn cold. She got off of it.
Now, I thought Debbie had a really good question. It says if you're building the 2 rabbit cages stacked on each other, how do you keep the top ones from crapping on the bottom ones?
Oh, there's going to be a piece of not galvanized, but it's a composite roofing material. Like they're galvanized, and I'll have it sitting in there at a 45-degree angle, so they'll shit and pee, and it'll just run right down the back, right into the pile.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's
I
actually
got to try some poop in my garden. I'm impressed with your doo-doo work with the garden. I've got to try. I think I can get chicken around here, probably cow.
You should see the okra and the watermelon and cantaloupe that I have in the rabbit manure. Like I planted them in nothing but rabbit manure and straw, and they are going nuts, like literally going crazy. That was all Prepper Tribe's idea. They're growing like crazy.
Hi, we the people.
Hey, we the people. What's going
on? Hello, we the people prepping.
Yeah, so the rabbit manure is literally gold because there is nothing. All I did was take the seedling. It sprouted. It grew up to a couple inches. I just put it in a bucket. I went over to my pile of rabbit manure, which is the rabbit manure, and it's all the straw that the rabbits drop down under their cages. I didn't pull any of the straw out. I just shoved it all in a 5-gallon bucket, mixed it up really, really good, and planted it. And there wasn't even transplant shock. Usually when you transplant a plant out of like dirt into a bigger pot, it'll lay over and wilt like they got its ass kicked for a day or two. These things didn't even lay over. I put them in the rabbit manure, spread them with a little bit of water, and they were like, "Thank you." Yeah, it was crazy.
That's awesome.
So yeah, the rabbit manure's it's worth its weight in gold.
Do you 4 minutes? Yes, 101. The final countdown. Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na.
Oops.
I want to address a question that was earlier in the chat. I can't remember who asked it. They asked me if I'd or if you'd heard from Native and how his rabbits were doing. I addressed this earlier at the beginning of the show. We had a really bad storm here about 3 days ago, and at Native's house it was bad, and I think there was a tree involved and some really high winds. Long story short, the buck died. He lost the buck, so all he has left is his doe. He is going to bring his doe here to my place on the first week of September. I'm going to breed his doe to tribe and give him another buck. Actually, it's Zah's brother. I'm going to give him Zah's brother to replace the other buck that passed away. So that's what happened there. So it sucks. Yeah, it was a bad storm. I was worried about mine, but it worked itself out. So, but yeah, so he is a small setback, but we're going to push through. So. Just tested positive for CV. Wow, we the people. Sorry to hear that. Laura, I tell you what, even if you don't get them for meat rabbits, I mean, you can get a rabbit for 15, 20, 30, 40 bucks. You can even just get, for 15, 20, 30, 40 bucks and just get a couple, and just the manure alone in the garden is worth having the rabbits because there's no wait time. It's not hot. You can put it straight on the garden. I mean, I planted straight in fresh rabbit poop and there's no issues whatsoever. Yeah. I think everybody should have a rabbit just for the poop. Gemma, what is going on, Gemma?
Hi, Gemma.
Hey, Gemma. Isn't chicken poop supposed to be good too? It's not really hot.
It's hot. It's hot. You got to cook it down.
Chicken poop is?
I think you're supposed to give it like 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Hi, Gemma.
The rabbit, you can just do it right now. You can just take her out of the cage, throw her right in your garden.
You can hold the rabbit over the plant and squeeze its tummy while it shits, and it won't hurt the plant. It just goes. Yeah, it's like it goes.
You got a guinea pig. You could do that. You'd squeeze him, and shit would come out all day long.
Yeah, rabbit manure is awesome. And the cool part is they're quiet. They don't make any noise. I've got mine out in the woods behind my house to keep them cool. I don't have any urine smell. I don't have any manure smell. I mean, there's a good breed, so it's completely legit. I mean, it's like awesome. Yeah, so there's no complaints there. Ta-da! Hello, Gemma.
Hello, brother. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, Gemma.
Friggin' hot.
Hey, Gemma.
Hey. It's been so muggy and humid here, and amongst other things, this week's been a bit of a, let's just say, awful week. I'm glad it's over.
Hey, did you see I blew past the 2,000?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, last week, the Prepper Summit, 101's mother-in-law cut off his internet service, so he wasn't able to do the show with me. So it was just me and Pinball, but he did a video and sent all kind of people, and I went from 1,600 subs to.
Oh yeah. I was in that stream. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, went up to 2020, I think. I mean, I lost a whole bunch and then back, and then it kind of stabilized at 20. I think I'm right, 2020, I believe. something like
Nice. Hey, Bella and Klingon Princess. How are you? Yeah, and you've done really well, guys. Like, I have been keeping a track on your uploads and stuff. I've been trying to keep as active as I can on your channel. As soon as I see an upload from you, I'm like, oh, he's uploaded again. And I usually try and get on there as quick as I can to leave a comment.
Y'all don't get okay, Gemma. She's a sweetheart, but she is totally lying right now. The only time she gets on my channel is to see the rabbits.
No, not true. No, not true. I did comment on your garden video the other day, which wasn't about the rabbits. You were showing us the garden. You were talking about the hydroponics stuff. I did leave a comment on that video.
Yes, you did. Yeah, I'm just messing with you.
I know. I'm just saying it's not entirely true. I did leave comments on your other videos. I have actually got 2 more to watch of yours that I've got in my watch list.
Okay, she likes me almost as much as she likes the baby rabbits.
There you go.
I like everything you do, brother. Like, I'm getting better at watching videos. I am a bit behind, but I am getting better. Trying to.
I know one thing that sucks. There's one thing that really sucks about having a channel and being a creator is before I decided to do this, I had so much time and I would just watch videos nonstop. But now that you have to like make your own videos and do the editing and all this research, there's like no time to watch videos. Like, man, it's like if I get like a half an hour to watch my video, I'm like, yes, free time.
I don't understand why people make such a big deal about editing. Like, for me personally, I don't really need to edit my videos unless I'm anxious or I say something wrong, but my videos are my real life. I don't really need to edit them. What you see is what you get. So I don't really edit mine unless it's to the point where I think someone's going to be triggered or I think someone's going to get upset or I'm like, oh, no, they don't need to see that. I'll get rid of it. But apart from that, I don't edit anything.
Right. But see, but that's like the difference between your channel and mine. Yours is just, you real life doing what you normally do. But when you're doing like special things with the garden, different reveals and building rabbit cages or shelves and trying to do the video time to get it on there and condense it, it's like, man, that stuff to do like a little 15-minute how-to video on, let's say, building shelves will take like 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah, I did a video the other day. I did it in one take. I was proud of myself. Plugged it in to go check it. So
hey, Stuart and Laura.
And there was no audio. My microphone wasn't on.
Oh, man.
Stuart, I don't necessarily think that I'm the real reason to watch. Like, if you mean my channel or Ghost channel, like, I'm just me. That I like coming onto Ghost channel because it's fun. I can chill out. I can help read his chat for him when he's busy, like doing his canon sessions, or he has someone on the panel who's interviewing. I like to keep the chat active for him and make sure that if he misses a question, I can highlight it to him, or I can tell him that someone's trying to talk. So it's kind of as a mod and as like a brother-sister relationship. Like, I like to make sure that I protect his channel and help him, and that's just part of who I am.
Hey, you missed Jess. She was in here earlier.
Yeah, she did send me a message, and I was she knows I've had a bit of a difficult week. I've been talking to her a little bit. It's not been pleasant.
That sucks.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that in private. I'm not going to say why on your stream because, yeah.
Hey, 101, he's got a question. Hoot Owl does. Are yours done yet?
Mine are, my heat's off. I'm depressurizing them at 7 pounds.
Thank you, Virginia, for putting my channel link in there. Appreciate that.
How about Susanna? She had hers turned off a little while back. Can you open up yet, Susanna? She's got to be close. Mine is down to 0 pressure, so I can open just about any minute.
I'm taking mine out right now.
Seriously? I was ahead. I can't even take mine out yet.
I must say, I must say, when Ghost does mention the rabbits, I am getting, every time I see a rabbit update or I see a picture update on his community tab, I'm like, not long till I get to pick a rabbit till I get my one named for me.
Yeah. They're getting big.
I know, they're getting really big. I did see a picture earlier, which actually helped me feel better because I saw that you'd put up a picture, I think it was yesterday. I'm like, oh, bunnies. It made me feel happy when I saw it come up on my news feed.
Yeah, I did pretty good. I put a picture up every single day. I think
Yeah, you
today's
do. I have been checking them.
I can't believe how big they are.
I put my cans in my pot and closed it up 10 minutes before Virginia. I have 15 minutes less that I need to run them in the canner. That gives me 25-minute head start, and she still beat me by 15 minutes.
Yeah.
At least you seem to get your technical troubles sorted out, Prepper 101, because last time that you were on the panel, you were having really bad tech issues last time.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah, he had to apologize to his stepmom, and she turned his mother-in-law. She turned his internet back on.
Right.
Let's just say when we were coming back from Wyoming a few weeks ago, the best thing of my whole life, thought he was a computer wizard and did some crazy stuff to our computer when we were out on the freeway. Mama fixed it.
I loved those road trip videos, by the way. I watched all of them. One of them, the longest one, I actually went to sleep to one night because it was almost 3 hours. And I was like, well, I'll just hang out with 101 for a while. But I've driven that exactly where you were. It's beautiful, all of it.
Yeah, once we got into Nevada and turned off to go towards Idaho, it was a beautiful drive all the way. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Lucky Dame Preparedness.
Hiya, Sandwich.
Yeah, my kid, he's a good road dog. We were leaving every day, probably anywhere from 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning. We would get on the road, and he got up on time.
Susanna.
Oh wow.
Oh man, we got to get you big, girl. Ghost has to come back. Those look so great. Yes. And those are the wide mouth
You got a
pints.
couple more each one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good job, Susanna. How many sausages you got in? You got 5?
In each one, yeah, 5. Oh, Ghost is back.
You got to show it again, Susanna.
Yeah, Virginia's the original Canimal.
Susanna. Yeah, we got to get her big. She's got her sausage, Ghost. We got to see it.
Oh, you're going to put it? Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
It's beautiful, Susanna.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm so glad you came and did it with us. That's so awesome.
Oh, I have an announcement to make. A lot of people, I've been getting several emails and comments about me and Backwoods and Prepping doing our show again. So tomorrow night at 8, we're bringing back Prep Rally. So it'll be me and Backwoods and Prepping doing another scenario and Q&A tomorrow night for those of you that were interested in that show.
Yeah, I got your live notification for that. It got sent to my newsfeed earlier, so I already got that on a reminder.
Cool. Do you know Backwoods? Have you met him yet, Gemma?
No.
He's a really cool guy. You'll like him.
Okay.
He's funny.
I did subscribe to Pinball after your recommendation cool. The other day, so I did go and subscribe to his channel and left him a couple of comments.
Yeah, Pinball does at least one video like every day of the week. Like he does a video like every day, sometimes more than one. If it's a lot of stuff going on, he'll do 2 and 3 a day. Backwoods and me started doing a show together. What, Virginia? 2-3 months ago.
Yep, about.
Yeah, we were doing 2 shows a week, and it just got overwhelming. And he had some stuff he had to deal with, personal stuff, and I was just burnt out. Decided to take a break, but everybody keeps harping on bringing the show back, so we're gonna start it back up tomorrow night.
Yeah, he's got his own lawn mowing business too, so he's probably staying pretty busy.
Yeah, his hands are full. So,
yeah, I'll definitely be watching that. I've got it on my reminder.
Yeah, pinball goes live at 9 o'clock on Saturdays. He usually pops in here. He'll say hello right before he goes live, and then he does his show. But he goes every Saturday. He goes at 9.
Here we go, man.
Uh-oh, Virginia. Make
Here she
Virginia
goes.
Woohoo! All right. So
Nice.
there
Oh,
they
yeah.
are.
Oh man, this looks fun.
There's 2, 3, 4. There's about 7 or 8 in each one. They did cook down a lot.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Man,
That's
an
a lot.
English muffin, an overhard egg, and you got breakfast in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Definitely.
beautiful.
It is.
And
I've
here's the
heard
great
2
part.
pops.
When you open that up, you take some of that little grease that's in the bottom there, and you put that in the frying pan for the eggs, and you're in business.
Right.
I get so excited
some
watching
gravy out
this,
of that
and I'm
grease.
like, not even there, but I love it.
I know it's the nerd in all of us.
Yeah, I think everybody here did it dry, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we all did it dry. You can put broth in there if you want to, or water if you want. But I've done that before, and I like the texture a lot better when you dry can it. So the what little fluid you do see in the bottom is just the grease that cooked off the sausage, or the grease that cooked off the hamburger meat.
Ooh,
Which
was
in
that
a
a pop?
perfect world, you don't want that much grease in you don't want to have a lot of grease in there, but it's really hard to get all the grease out of meat when you cook it. So I mean, I've got sausages that I can just like that, and I think I ate the last one. They were 2.5 years old, and they were perfectly fine. It doesn't hurt to have a little bit of grease or fat in there. Doesn't make it go bad. What fat will go rancid quicker than anything else. And now it doesn't mean that it's going to go bad in 30 days. It might go bad in like 4 or 5 years, maybe longer. It just depends on what kind of grease, what you cooked, and how you canned it if you did it properly. All right, I think mine's ready.
When are you going to start canning, Gemma?
Yeah, I'm going to start buying some of the equipment, and I want to talk to Ghost and Jess and some people and get myself started, because I need to start looking after myself properly, and especially with the whole situation that's going on right now anyway. I'm trying to get ready to get equipment and stuff.
It's actually very easy. It's not, especially if you do a raw pack. I mean, you just throw it in there and throw it in the pot. There's really not much to it.
Yeah, I used to watch my grandma. My grandmother used to can a lot. She was very much about prepping and storing food for other times of the situations and stuff. And she had I remember she had a big freezer full of stuff. I remember I used to go around as a little girl, and she would get these like big tins out of her freezer and her pantry and things, and it's like she'd prep everything.
Dang, you did a good job on those, Ghosts. Those are like perfect.
Whoa, they're huge.
You in Virginia should open up a sausage.
Those are beautiful.
Factory. If I did them myself, they'd look like a triangle.
Who else is to?
That's
Who
how
else is
a few of mine look too.
It'd be a ball. I think I did meatballs. It'd just be a big ball.
I took you through that. I bought the case.
Who else has a question for you? They say, Prepper 101, what fat ratio or percentage did you can?
80-20.
Your burger, was it 80-20?
What do you mean? What do you think that means there? I cooked the
Fat.
meat.
But the burger, what quality of meat was it? 80-20?
Oh man, I don't even know if that's from the package. Let me see. That's a good question.
Yeah, they stay formed, Gary. They stay formed really, really well. Like when you open them up, you can throw them in a frying pan, good and hot frying pan for 10, 15, 20 seconds on each side, and they're awesome. They're just as good as any sausage you get at McDonald's or anywhere else.
It was you can see that.
Yeah.
70%, 73% lean, 27% fat.
Okay.
And you cooked them off a little bit beforehand?
Yeah, I cooked them pretty much almost all the way through, and they shrunk down to the right size. I was worried they were so big. I thought they weren't going to fit in the mouth. And there was 20 in here, so I mean I did a whole package plus almost this whole package, right? I think there's 5 left, and then that's a lot of space I saved in my freezer. That's a lot. Times 2, that's a lot. I could put a lot more food in there now. Ice cream.
Well, my prep time, I just bought a case of frozen sausages. They were already cut in perfect little circles. Put them at Walmart, and I just cooked them about 3/4 of the way through and dropped them back in the jars.
Ghost, you got TJ Katz asking you a question in the chat.
Ghost, when you pre-cook, was it in a pan? I did them on a frying pan. You can do them in the oven. I just did them on a frying. I like to do them on a frying pan. For some reason, I've done them in the oven before, but it seems to me like when you do them in the oven, they I don't know. I don't know if it's because the air is hot in the oven. It seems to dry them out a little bit.
Oh, dude, you're funny.
It dries them out too fast. So I fried them in a pan on the stove, and then I put them on a plate on a paper towel, and then I put a paper towel in between each layer, and I put another plate on top to try to squeeze out most of the fat.
Bug dude, I have a special freezer out in the middle of the desert for that one. it doesn't need to be plugged in.
How does it stay preserved with air around it or in a vacuum? It's a vacuum thing on the canning process. It does several things. Number one, you have to bring it to the right pressure and the right temperature, and it cans at minimum. It cans just above 240 degrees, which 240 degrees sustained for the hour and a half or the 75 minutes in my case, because I use pints. That's the amount of time you need to can it to completely kill any bad stuff that's in there. And what it does, that high pressure process, it vacuum seals it in there like super, super tight. So it's space. It's not really air around the stuff that's in there.
Do you guys know how they? Okay, so like the Angry Prepper, right? If you watch his opening videos, he went down to a place where they can freeze dried food, right? The Amish place, whatever. If you watch the top of the can's open, there's no lid on it. How do they attach that lid to that dang can with the food in it?
It's there's
even soup, right? How do they do that?
I worked at a factory where it actually happens. There's a machine that these things go in on a conveyor belt, and there's a machine that spins. And the way that the top of the jar, the can's made, and the lid, there's like a rib that folds over, and it seals it super tight. But it just spins. It's mechanical. It spins through, and it just pinches the metal around the metal.
There's no welding. It's just a friction fit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's not even friction. It's like. This can of corned beef hash. The way this lid's made here, if you notice right here on the edge, this part here is folded down. It folds over. Like the lid goes, the can goes straight up, but this lid is like a pocket. Yeah, there's a pocket, and it sits down on it tight, and then this machine spins around it, and it just squeezes it together. So if you don't have a can opener, and you're out in the, anywhere in the middle of nowhere on the sidewalk, you don't have a can opener, all you got to do is turn this can upside down on the concrete or a rock and scratch it back and forth really, really fast. And it'll cut through this lip right here and the lip falls right off. You don't need a can opener. You can just take this on a rock, scratch it, and the friction will burn through this edge right here and it'll open right up.
Right.
Good to know. Yeah, I like watching that TV show. I don't watch TV anymore. It's been years, but I used to watch that How's It
No,
Made?
I watch TV on YouTube.
Yeah, I love that.
And it was just like stupid stuff you never think about. And then you'd watch it go, wow, that's cool.
I love that show.
That
Yeah.
you guys are my TV. That I watch all of you guys as my TV on YouTube. I haven't had my cable TV in over 2 years.
I haven't sat down on the couch and watched. Well, I got rid of TV well over almost 3 years ago, but I haven't sat down on the couch and watched and looked at that TV in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a nice TV.
The last time I watched television was probably 2 years ago, watching football until they went all political, and then I quit watching that.
Yeah.
Football and racing, I stopped watching them both. I don't do that.
I know this is one thing Ghost doesn't like, but I'm going to self-promote Ghost, and I know he gets annoyed when I do it. But guys, if you're new here and you haven't been on Ghost's channel before, I'm going to tell you to do two things. One is to subscribe, ring the notification bell. Please leave a genuine comment on his channel relevant to the video, and make sure that you come back and you watch a live stream or you go back and watch a video, and make sure you don't miss any single uploads or streams, because he is a really good guy. He does a lot more support. So please, if you are new, do subscribe to the channel. It really would help him out, and it really mean the world to me too.
Sherry Leach, thanks for joining my membership. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sherry.
Oh, and I need something too from all the members here. I know I've been like neglecting things. I want to try to figure a way to do something really cool for the members, but without making people that aren't members feel like they're left out. You know what I mean? And I don't want to use the membership to try to hook people into becoming a member. So I was trying to come up with something special to do for the members, but in a way that like doesn't make people feel like they're left out. I'm like drawing
you can do like what Jess done the other day. She did a members appreciation stream for her members, but at the same time she left it as a stream for everybody, so that her non-members could go there to see her and talk to her, as well as the stream being for members who had been with her for a while. So you can still do like you are doing now, like a public stream, but you can put it as a title. You can put my thanks to my members or the member appreciation, so that at least the members know that you're doing it for them.
Yeah, I thought about doing like a members only live stream or members only videos and stuff, but the problem is that if I did like a members only video, it still shows up on my channel and people can see it, but if they're not a member, they can't watch the video. And I don't want to make them feel like they're not invited or make them feel like they got to be a member, you know.
Yeah.
You know, because it should be a special perk. It shouldn't be something different. You know what I mean? So if I did like a members only video, I don't. It should just be available for the members to see. You know what I mean? Not to watch.
Yeah.
But the icon. You know, it's like
that's why people say to me, you should do some members only content. I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, I'm very much like you. I don't want to do just some members only content just so my members can see it. I want everyone to be involved, whether you're a member of my channel or not. I'd rather just do it as a general stream or a general video, so at least then both sides get to watch. Right. It's not that I'm picking favorites or whatever.
I mean, I'm pretty good at coming up with crazy ideas, so I'm gonna figure something out that doesn't hurt, you know, people's feelings.
Yeah. But, I wouldn't necessarily say you'd hurt people's feelings. I think people would understand that members' content is important because people are paying that extra thing to watch you. Right.
I'm going to come up with something special, hopefully here in the next week or so, to where it's just geared.
Especially as I'm a member now as well. Woohoo.
Well, I came up with one for everybody for my channel, and it's I was going to invite everybody over to my house to help paint my house, man. So make everybody feel good. You know, everybody gets a little something out of it, you know.
There you go.
I was even going to let them buy the paint, you know.
Wow. Nice. You're really going above and beyond.
And I'm also going to promote I'm also going to promote Ghost again as well. Like, if you don't know, Ghost was one who got me to over my 4K a few weeks ago. And if it wasn't for him, I probably would be still struggling. He actually pushed me way, way over than what I actually expected to get over. And a lot of the people actually have stayed with me. And if it wasn't for Ghost, I probably wouldn't be as over the milestone that I got. So Ghost has done a lot for me, and I do really appreciate all the hard work he put in. It was very much appreciated.
You're welcome, sweetheart. So who's left? All right, 101. He's pulling out. Uh-oh.
He's pulling them out.
Bringing up the rear.
Bring it.
Nice kitchen.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I like those cabinets. I like the color.
I know. Isn't Prepper 101 beautiful? Oh,
There's like some liquid in there, but it's even on every one. So that wouldn't be water, right? That would just be the hamburger grease.
There's no water in there. You get them dry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just grease.
That's just grease. And that one just popped too.
Yeah. It'll actually,
well, another one just popped. Yeah.
It'll actually cook down a little bit, so the level of the fluid's going to go down. It looks like there's a whole lot of water in there, but we all watched you pack that full of meat. If there wasn't any meat in there, that you might have like a couple of millimeters of water in the bottom.
Yeah.
So
right. And you can see it. You can see the meat in there.
Yeah, you can see the grease in there. And when I did cook, I cooked them in a big pan, but I left all the grease in the pan. When I kept adding them, I never drained it, so they got to stay kind of like juicy.
Oh, look at that!
I got 3 pops. Oh, 4 pops.
I love how happy your face is when the pops. That's so fun.
Yeah, remember Chris Lather? Yeah, he was all.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I think Chris peed himself a little bit when he heard that first pop.
Yeah, I agree with Bug Dude. Nice meat, 101.
That's what she said.
101's got nice meat.
Yep, we all know it now.
We made it almost 3 hours and nobody said jiggler.
I was going to say it earlier, and then I said, no, I'm going to wait and see if anybody notices.
I'm amazed, Susanna.
I held back that whole time when I put it on and when I took it off.
I wish I was awake earlier. I would have been here a lot earlier. It's the fact I've been sleeping and then spent the last little while working on a video. So it's like, the bomb I saw you've been live for like 2 hours. I was like, oh no.
It looks like that's a lot of grease in that jar, 101, but it really isn't a lot of grease in there because it's full of meat. That's just the outside edge.
Yeah.
You know, so it looks like a lot.
And it's grease too. It's not water. Yeah, no, because they're like all even. It's not like one sucked in more water than the other or something like that.
That's the flavor, man. All that is flavor. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Klingon Princess says that you can name a bunny after us. That could be one of your membership thingies, I guess.
Man, that's a good idea.
Yeah, the ones you're going to keep.
The members get to pick names for the bunnies.
That's a good idea. Yeah, we'll have like a special naming party.
Yay! Woohoo!
A special naming party. Everybody gets to name a bunny.
That's a great idea. I love that.
It's a pretty cool idea.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to name mine Prepper 101.
So Native's getting a new buck. I'm gonna breed his female, and then Za. For those of you that don't know it, Za won my 1,000 member giveaway, and my giveaway for the 1,000 members was a breeding pair of rabbits. And since she lives so far away, she asked if there was anybody close to me that she could donate the rabbits to. And Native was talking about doing meat rabbits. I'm like, yeah, Native. So she donated her gift, which was the 2 meat rabbits, to Native Voice. So she found out about this buck he killed the other day. So she is buying him another rabbit. So she already sent me a gift card to pay for the rabbit. which I told her not to, but she did it anyway. And so I'm going to match it. I'm going to give him another one. So he's getting, his doe is going to get bred. He's getting another mature male, which is the brother of Za. And he's also going to get another male and another female from this litter that was just born. Za paid for one, and I'm going to give him another one. So I'm going to match her input into it. So 2 of the bunnies from this litter of 9 are already going to tribe. So he'll have 2 bucks and 2 does to get started with. Good mommies and daddies. Or he can have 2 does, whatever he wants. But the cool part is that he lives, close enough to me that he can always just bring him and breed them and just back and forth to really have good genetics. But I just thought it was really cool for Za to do that. She didn't have to. She gave him away to him first, and then she wants to buy him another one. And I thought it was really, really awesome. So I figured that the best way to appreciate that was to just match it and give him 2 instead of 1. So now he's getting 3 bunnies on top of the 2 that he already got, plus a belly full of babies. So he should be rocking and rolling within the next few months with a whole lot of babies.
Right.
Nice. What's Stuart saying?
How long do you got to let them sit before you take the lid off or the ring off?
24 hours.
24. Okay.
Yeah, I let them sit a whole day, and I take the ring off. Then I wash them really, really good. And if with anything with meat, any kind of meat with grease and stuff, I do a pan full of soapy water in the sink, and I wash the entire jar really good, even the threads at the top, to make sure you get all the grease off. That way, it won't attract bugs. Because even though the bugs and rats can't really chew through the glass, they'll attract other. You just don't want that smell. Bringing them in there.
Yeah.
Stuart, I wouldn't necessarily call you a troll. I don't know if you were joking or not, but you were saying about trying to control your inner troll or whatever. I don't necessarily think you're a troll from what I've seen of you on streams.
Oh no, yeah, they're just messing around.
If you have 2 females, can you put them in the same? Yeah, 2 females can go in the same cage together for quite a while. 2 males can go in the same cage together until they get up to breeding age. Then they start kicking each other's ass. So you don't want to do that too much. I plan on separating the males from the females in each litter by week 6. Hopefully, that way you don't get an accidental breeding. So, but yeah, the females can go in. I've got 2 of my cages right now have 2 in each cage. All 4 of them are females, and they get along just fine. And they're 8, 9 weeks old, maybe 10 weeks old.
Hey, cool dude.
Hi.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Hey, little buddy, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi, Ghost.
Hi, Ghost.
Hey, Gemma. Gemma.
Hi, Gemma.
Hi.
Hi, Susanna.
Hi.
Too cool.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're finished, aren't we?
Yep.
Wow.
Exciting.
It is. This was it's 3 hours, so yeah, that's about right.
Yep. Pretty much like clockwork.
Uh-oh, it's snack time.
Found the donuts.
Yeah. Well, in that case, since we're finished, I guess we'll go ahead and shut this stream down. I wanted to thank everybody on the panel for joining us. Gemma, Virginia, Susanna.
I feel like I came right at the end. Oh, boo.
But thank you guys for hopping up here with us, and thank you guys for canning along with us. I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank all my members for hanging out and the new ones. I appreciate the support and you guys showing up every week when we do this. I appreciate it so much. And we're going to turn this thing off and probably go see. I'm pretty sure somebody's out there live right now. But honestly, unfortunately, 2 of my sausage patties did not fit into the jar. They're in the microwave. And I don't want them to go bad. So Ghost is going to have himself a couple sausage biscuits here in a minute with a little bit of mustard and a fresh slice of tomato. It's going to be a great night. And I'm going to go watch other people for a little while. But I want to thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. If you guys are around tomorrow at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be live here with Backwoods and Prepping. We're going to do another episode of Prep Rally. We've got a really good scenario for you. So hopefully you guys will make time and check it out. Other than that, you guys want to say anything?
Nope.
Just thank everybody for coming in, and I love you all and everyone up on the panel. I was so excited to come back and see everybody.
Yes, I'm so glad you came. I'm just stifling a bunch of meat jokes, so I just want to say hi to everyone. This was a lot of fun. I loved this one. Actually, I've loved all of them, but this was great.
Yeah, this one's fun because it's like super, super easy. It's like easy, it's fun, and everybody loves sausages and hamburgers.
This would be, for me, this would have been a perfect first time doing a hamburger. I mean, the sausage was more work than I had to do the patty. All I had to do was pull a frozen patty out, throw it in the pan, cover it, cook it a couple minutes, right?
Well, unless you get the frozen sausage like I did. You and I did the same thing. We just took it out of the package, cooked it, and boom.
It would be, that would be a good, this, either like even getting the frozen sausage, it would be a good, hey, this is my first time. I want to get familiar. There's no very little prep work, very little anything you got to do. Just, do the basics and get your feet wet.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Good being with you guys.
If anybody have anything else, we're going to shut her down.
Nope. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming. It was awesome to see all of you.
Love you all.
Bye, everybody.
I enjoyed coming.
Bye.